the sad bastard cover of Jan's introduction to the giant Bombcast. How the hell are you doing? It's a lovely day, isn't it? On this Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. My name is Jeff Bakalar, filling in for Jan Ochoa, Dan Reichert, Mike Minotti, all three of our friends out on assignment, but we have filled in their seats with butts that we greatly and deeply admire. Isn't that right, Jason Fanelli?
Hey, how we doing, everybody? Yes, I am very excited to be here. I'm glad that the 900 episode grace period has ended. I made it through, and now I am able to hang out on the Bombcast and talk about cool stuff, and I very much appreciate y'all inviting me for the ride.
Of course, that's how it works. 900 episodes, that unlocks the freaks. We've hit that milestone, and we're happy to do it. The second freak on the program today, TurboShawn. How's it going, bud?
Yes, 900 episodes is what it took for TurboShawn's return to happen. So thank you for having me back. I'm glad to be here. I am also going to be out the rest of the week. So good luck with editing and stuff, man. You're going to need it.
Yes. Is there an editor in the house? Is what we are asking, generally speaking. Co-captain of the ship, Mr. Jeffrey Michael Grubb. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good, Jerf. Yeah, the 900 episode probationary period is up. I think we're going to last after that's going for. I think it's going to work out just fine for us.
There's some sort of statute of limitations we also have to read the documentation on, and like what that also allows us to do moving forward. It's a very exciting time here at Giant Bomb. That's right. What are you doing not going to giantbomb.com/join, supporting the business, supporting the programs, supporting the content you want to see? Please head over there. We also have a merch store, brand new merch store. If you've never heard about it, it's not new at all. Actually, it's been there for a very long time. Yes. Store.giantbomb.com. Go check out all the merch and all the stuff that's there at the moment.
There's good merch on there.
Did I interrupt somebody?
No, I don't. We were all just agreeing with your assessment of the merch store. I didn't realize I ended up getting 2 pairs of the joggers, and I don't regret it. Now I'm just going to throw those in on rotation. Very happy with that.
You do need to rotate your joggers, folks. They're like tires. You have to keep them even.
My admirable ass wears them out. Yeah, you got to be careful, or so the tread on the butt pads will get worn down. You can't have that.
It sort of sounds like. It sounds like my dad. Well. Yeah. My dad has a similar philosophy with clothing. He just won't wear it. Like, he'll buy a new thing and he'll be like, "What am I going to do? Wear this and have it wear out?"
Oh, that's
I'm not joking. That is he's a sick man, but that's I know. I remember growing up, going into his bedroom and being like, "Oh man, a lot of your clothes still have tags on them. What's that about?" He's like, "Well, what am I going to wear this clothes?" I'm like, I guess it's not, Dad.
I suppose you're not. I don't know why.
No.
I have the young, newer version of that. Grubb can relate, where my very pretty shirts from the Yeti, I don't want them to because they only last so long because they're
pretty
printed.
Shirts from the Yeti?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Those are
he doesn't
bars.
know.
Yeah, it's we have our own sickness where I don't know what happened with Sean, but I hit my midlife crisis. There was a time in my life I would never wear video game shirts, and then I was like, I'm gonna die one day. I like video games. I'm gonna put them on my goddamn shirts. I don't care anymore. And so Yeti is one of these t-shirt vendors that always has one for a day or two, and you got to get in there and get them, and they're relatively affordable. They're like $18. But you get what you pay for.
It's like a threadless kind of situation?
Definitely. Yeah, well, is threadless the ones that are print on demand, like you could do it yourself, or not? Am I thinking?
I think the way threadless used to do it was I don't know if they bought designs from artists and then featured them for some sort of timed.
Okay,
then
it's
same thing.
Yes, totally.
Same thing. Ripped Apparel does a similar thing as well, where they just have a daily featured artist. But I have the exact opposite. My dad still wears T-shirts that I gave him after I was done working for gaming retail. Let's put it that way. In 2009. So and my mom has to beg him, get more shirts. He's like, "No, they're perfectly good shirts. What's the matter with you? Everything's fine." I cannot relate to the leave tags on clothes. That's just not how I was raised. It just doesn't translate with me.
The old Fort shirt I wore yesterday, I got from a thrift shop in the year 2000.
Wait, I thought that said old fart.
He kept going.
I thought it also said old fart when I bought it. People have told me it says
old fort.
It's old fort, but
Old fort.
it's my old fart shirt. It definitely is my old fart shirt. Because the O definitely has the kind of hanging A cursive line thing going on.
It's got a real loose A there.
It's a loosey-goosey A on that old fort design.
I did see someone in chat saying, "Why the hell is Grubb wearing a shirt that says old font on it?" Like, yeah, it's an old font. Why is it?
Font. That's just kids not being able to read cursive, though, Sean. That's all that was.
Yeah,
correct. We don't.
I mean, but like, but even when we were in elementary, I remember being like, "This shit ain't."
I'm not like
not important.
Accusing the youth of not keeping up or something. Don't learn cursive.
No.
That's a waste of time.
What an incredible waste of time.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't tell you the last time I wrote in cursive, and I learned that fourth through 6th grade in Catholic school.
It was so much time spent on learning cursive.
Yeah. We spent so much time.
So much shame for not being able to use it, like going to your award ceremony and having that penmanship award where that person could just walk around being like, yes, I wasted the most time learning cursive.
I am a nerd. Yeah.
And I'm sorry if your only response to why learning cursive is that how are you going to sign your name? Listen, come put your ear close to the speaker.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Fuck you. Okay. That's dumb as hell. Who cares? All right.
Yeah.
Like I can't. You didn't sign your name, therefore it is not a binding document.
You could draw a picture there. It doesn't matter.
99% of shit is signed with a freaking clicky button on a DocuSign these days. Anyway, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I typed my name and it made cursive for me on a document just yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay.
I pay a computer to write in cursive for me now.
Can we go back to the T-shirt thing for a second? If you guys if you guys had to run your own T-shirt brand, like what would be like the general vibe or sort of the theme of it? Because I was thinking the other day, I would love to have the time to start a T-shirt brand that just takes dead trademarks from companies that don't exist anymore and sell that shit.
Whoa. Keep this to yourself.
Oh, am I giving away the good ideas? All right.
No, you just
invented.
Wait, I can't trademark the dead trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Redbubble also dabbles in currently copywritten stuff as well.
True.
Yeah. I think I got a Virtual Boy shirt from Redbubble once. Yeah. I don't like Nintendo's interested in keeping that trademark, but also they are.
I'm a basic bitch, right? You know what my T-shirt company would be like. It would be like a satanic pinball
skulls and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
You know?
I do like that a lot. I think I would make I like the logos where it's like an actual company logo, but it says something else. Like the Coca-Cola cursive, there it is again, but it says Street Fighter or something like that.
Sure,
mixing of brands, that sort of thing.
Like that classic stuff.
The classic picture of like the cast of Seinfeld, and it just says Nirvana.
Like my favorite one is it's Garfield, right? It's the Garfield and Friends logo, but it says Neon Genesis Evangelion. It makes me laugh every single time. Just dumb shit like that. I would make T-shirts that I hope would make people laugh. That would be what I would want to do.
There was a guy at PAX that sold just a bunch of different Pokemon T-shirts, but all the Pokemon were like rebranded as something else. So but Bidoof, is that one of them, Sean? Bidoof?
Yep.
Yeah, Bidoof.
Bidoof was Bidoofies, like Bucky's. So it was Bidoof in the Bucky's font.
Okay.
And then
I've seen stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorites is it's a Blastoise, but it's Baja Blastoise.
Oh, that's
I like that.
Pretty good.
I keep meaning to get one of those shirts, but they keep getting taken down for who knows what reason.
But then some people take it too far. I was at a local convention, Too Many Games here in Oaks, Pennsylvania, and they had poor Kirby, and it said Hawk Tua. And I'm like, no, you can't do that to him.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can't, don't do
Kirby
that.
deserves better.
Well, he doesn't spit on that thing. He sucks up that thing. So yeah, it's incorrect.
Well, if you
That's
think
not where I
about
stand.
it,
He does
spit
spit that
too.
when he's done.
Yeah, that's true. He can spit.
it's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's
That
all
just
part
pisses me off from the point of view of like you got to put in more effort.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
The level of effort there is really depressing. I fuck that. Oh, put these people in jail, maybe.
For sure.
You know, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else we have to discuss before we get into the next thing? I I've just seen Happy Gilmore 2 is all.
I want to watch it. I've heard good things, but is it one of those things where like people had such low expectations and now they're setting my expectations higher and I'm going to be disappointed?
My spoiler-free review is just like, I thought it was better than it had any right to be.
That's what I keep
hearing. The bar
hearing.
was low.
Right.
Let's just say the bar was certainly low. And I watched it with the family, and we had a mostly good time with it.
How much Shooter McGavin is in the movie? Because I'm realizing as I get older, Shooter McGavin is maybe one of my favorite characters of all time. He is so funny in every scene he's in the original movie.
So without spoiling, there is a line, and there's a line that he says that I don't think gets enough credit. Now that they made it part of the script in this movie, that it will. But he does say something in the first movie that they go back to here that I thought was like very clever. To answer your question, there's a good amount of him.
Okay.
I don't think you get as much Shooter as you want, I think.
All right, fantastic.
What the hell is like the overall plot of Happy Gilmore 2?
I don't want to. I mean, he plays golf.
Let's just, without getting into, because I saw it too, so without getting into too many spoilers, basically think of a recent story involving the PGA and a upstart rival.
Saudi Arabia? All right, let's go.
Saudi Arabia is featured in this film.
Sort of in that vein, another league comes up. Only this one, where you hate you don't want to like that league because of Saudi Arabia. You don't want to hate. You want to hate this league because everyone there sucks. But anyway, that is the story. Like something comes up, he is asked to. There's a major plot point that I'm not going to say, because it kind of fuels his return. It's
definitely more than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's so.
I mean,
it's there. It's fine. It's fine. I'm surprised. I'm actually. I mean, I know he's got like a huge deal with Netflix, which explains why he didn't go to theaters and whatnot.
Right.
But this definitely felt like something that was probably on that path. But yeah, I mean, like, I think it was fine. I do like that a lot of it is like New Jersey stuff too, which is cool. There's like some cool local hockey jersey Easter eggs, which I thought was dope. I also think people do not know what the word cameo means. I think this has been the movie where people are like, did you see all the cameos? I'm like, yes, this movie is like overridden with cameos. But Benny Safdie being in the movie is not a cameo.
Oh, really?
He's a main character in the movie. And people are like, he's got the villain. He's in the movie. He's an actor in the movie. That's not a cameo.
I didn't realize Benny Safdie was like that much a part of the movie. I only just yesterday saw him in an interview for this movie. I'm like, fucking Benny Safdie's in this? All right, cool.
I know.
It must be a cameo. And then, all right, cool. I love Benny Safdie. I just can't get enough of that guy.
He's very, I like him. I like him in his role a lot.
Yeah. Does he just play his characters from Oppenheimer again?
Oh, I didn't see that. Honestly, it's more the character from The Curse.
Okay.
It's more like coded that way for sure.
So I watched the movie with my wife, and I think the one thing that she took away from it is how much love he shows, Adam Sandler does, to all of his people around him. Now he does take that too far with a certain member of his crew who I will not name.
Yeah, but he also was like barely got some.
He was barely in there, right? Yeah. But like
Trump. Yeah. Okay.
No.
No, this is much worse. This is much
worse. But like he includes his wife and daughters. He includes like people. John Lovitz, I'll spoil one for you, makes a cameo, and I love John Lovitz. The Critic is one of my favorite like guilty pleasure cartoons of all time. So to see him in there was really cool. A bunch of other faces that show up. Some I had to look up. Like some I didn't realize who they were until after the fact, and I was like, oh, that was that person. That was kind of cool too, right? So filling in some current pop culture blanks while also bringing in the old guard. Pretty cool stuff.
I don't know what people are expecting out of this movie. Like I played hockey the night I saw it, and like the guys in the locker room were like, "This movie sucked," and I'm just like, "What were you expecting?" Like,
I'm expecting
it's Happy Gilmore 2,
and all of these sequels to like the legacy sequels to old comedies are always complete and utter trash. They are like unwatchable trash a lot of times. Like Joe Dirt 2 is actually legitimately maybe one of the better one of those, and it sucks.
Okay.
So yeah.
The only time this, I mean, look, I think the most guilty example of this is Anchorman 2. Okay. I think Anchorman 2 like really should have
about that
ended in litigation.
Yeah.
I like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like maybe put on some weird taboo embargo list. Like seriously.
You're very legal system today, Jeff. You want to throw some people in jail,
reason for that. Don't worry about that. Don't pay any attention to that.
Honestly, I'm probably 65% of the way to being a lawyer. I'm not going to lie at this point.
On a good day, could pass the bar exam. Yeah.
I mean, probably not at all, but also maybe
in
better than most.
Though? Which state's bar?
New Jersey, baby. Come
okay.
on, what I'm practicing New Jersey law. And golf law and hockey law.
The new Bill and Ted was okay. Yeah, that's a good point. The new Bill and Ted was all right. There was nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Harold and Kumar movies got better. That was a little bit different because that was like a sequence of films. That wasn't like going back to the well or anything like that necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that behind us, folks, let's get into some video games. Video games, man, now that I'm doodling in my notebook, putting Esquire after my name, and it kind of rules, not gonna lie.
Jeff Bakalar, Esquire. No, that's got a ring to it.
It does have a ring to it. Man, I've not been playing the game that a lot of people have been playing because my son has been playing it. That's right. The Donkey Kong Bananza.
Yeah.
Fanelli, you have exploded in public about this game.
That's one way to put it. Maybe I'm getting arrested next.
Not that there's anything to spoil, but we're not going to be spoiling anything, everybody. We're still in that zone.
Yeah, Grubb already did that on Blue Sky.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Fucking a snake picture.
Yeah.
I will. You know what? I'll air dirty laundry on the podcast. I didn't know what that meant, and then once I figured out what it meant, I was a little angry at you, Jeff.
But if you didn't know what it meant, how is that a spoiler?
Because it clicked into place, and I was like, "Oh, you didn't let me experience that."
Right.
Come on, man.
It did not register to me as a spoiler. Now, I posted one of the pictures of one of the Bonanza thing guys, and people are like, "That's a spoiler." I'm like, "Oh, it just doesn't register to me at all as a spoiler. It's so out of context. There's nothing." But yeah,
it's funny because it's like technically the kind of thing you say you don't like spoiled is gameplay stuff.
But it's not game. There was no gameplay there.
Oh.
But if okay. I don't want to talk about too much because if it is what I think it is, I'm like, oh, I see what that is.
There's more to it than you're thinking. That's all.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
I got yelled at too for my Blue Sky post about the best Bonanza song because I mentioned the number of Bonanza songs, not remembering that the Bonanza Direct had less Bonanzas in it than actually exist.
That's an insane thing for someone to be mad about. Like
spoiler
that's cash
alert.
level, dude.
I'm talking about songs here. Shut up. Anyway, this is not a spoiler. We talked about it before the show. The Zebra Bonanza song is just the best one. Like there's no getting around it. If you have not heard it, if you're not interested in the game, the chat is already singing it. I love it. Go listen to that song. Even out of context, it's an absolute banger. I will warn you though, if you search for that song on YouTube or anything Bonanza on YouTube, the recommended feed has been a very heavy spoiler laden place since that game has come out. Luckily, I was able to beat the game before something would have been spoiled for me. But yeah, just be careful of that minefield.
Sean, you're gonna get so annoyed with me too because my kid spoiled me again or spoiled me on this game, and I enjoyed it more because of that. And we were like sitting there like
I know that's how you like things.
Not always. I don't always like that. It's just like it's happened a couple times. And this time it happened and we were like popping off when like she's like
it's poison the well.
She's like, see, I told you. And I'm like, oh, I didn't believe you. And it's kind of awesome that that's real. But
that, that's the thing though. That's within the Grubb ecosystem.
Yes,
that's how you guys like to, share things with each other. That's cool. It's just like even you posted a snake. That's not that bad, man. Come on now. Like we both know that's not that bad, but like people going out of their way or like being the first person on YouTube to have like the thumbnail is just, hey, here's what the final boss looks like. Come on, man.
Speaking of jail, I hate that shit. But like, see, I did the opposite.
Line. Just find the line, find the line.
I finished it on Sunday night And then Monday morning when my kids woke up, I found a YouTube video and I was like, you're watching this right now because it's amazing. And they were like, oh, okay, because they don't mind that. They don't care about spoilers yet. They're not old enough to have opinions on those sorts of things. So when I showed them that, they're like, whoa. And then now they want to play it even more. And now that I'm finished, they can, as we talked about again pre-show. Yeah. During my playthrough, no, you're not touching it because checkpoints are brutal in this game. And if you accidentally kill me at a certain point and I go back too far, I'm going to be very upset. But now that I'm done, they can go crazy. I can't wait for them to figure this stuff out and see what they can find for themselves. Very, very excited for that.
So for me, this game is awesome. Really like It's my game of the year so far. It feels fantastic to play. All the stuff we talked about before. I think the criticisms would be, and I think this continued from what we talked about last week. The bosses are too easy. They're just they don't feel like a culmination of anything. It just is. Here's a boss that is themed after this level, and if you know what you're doing, you could probably beat this thing in about 15 seconds, and that's true for I'm going to say the majority of the bosses, most of them. Now, thankfully, the last few bosses get a little bit more challenging, and that does feel like a culmination in a good way. But I don't think that undoes sort of the disappointment I had. And maybe that's like we're so from soft-pilled at this point that I'm like, bosses should be important, and I should be learning stuff, and that should be challenging. And maybe that's just not right for a platformer. I don't know, but I definitely think I came away a little disappointed from the bosses.
No, I know what you're saying, though, because this game, first of all, this game is like the most Nintendo game in a while because it's not necessarily things that they've done in the distant past, but is everything that they did on the Switch 1 all in one place. It's a little Odyssey, it's a little Breath of the Wild, it's a lot Splatoon, and it's all coming together in just it feels like it would have been planned as like a swan song for the Switch, which it technically was planned as before they moved the project over to the Switch 2. And now it's like, well, this is the Switch 2, everything we did on the Switch 1, but more of it and better. And this is what Nintendo is nowadays. And in those games, I do think that the bosses are more important. Like in Splatoon, they have fantastic bosses, the different phases and the way it ramps up visually being really interesting. And in here, at least because I'm early on, I'm taking my time with the game. So I'm still only in I'm in I just got to sub level 600.
Okay.
So far, every boss has just been, here's a health bar. You whack them like 10 times, especially if you have Kong Bananza, and just finish them, you know?
Yeah.
It's way too easy.
It's way too easy. And I think, there's an upgrade system. So if you are speccing in any sort of way to sort of make yourself more survivable, it's going to trivialize a lot of that stuff very quickly. I held off on upgrading health until the very end of the game, just to kind of improve that challenge a little bit. But outside of that, I mean, Sean, you're right. It is all of those ideas from all these Nintendo games. You can like spot them and be like, oh my God, they took that off the menu and used it in a really great way. It is totally cohesive. There's nothing that feels out of place. It all serves a larger purpose of establishing like the central thesis of Donkey Kong Bananza, which is, everything can be destroyed and everything can be, you can interact with everything and it has knock-on effects. And all that stuff really, really, really works. I think I like the sort of structure of the game of, hey, we are going to do our best to encourage you to not play like Sean is and just go after those bananas. We're going to throw a bunch of bananas down a hole that is on the next level, and you're going to be so enticed that you are going to think, I should just go get those now, and I'll come back to this level later. And I think that kind of makes this nice strand through the game of you're going to kind of be like, okay, I'm chasing down this big bunch of bananas, or I'm chasing down the main objective, and I'll find stuff along the way, but I'm going to sort of rush through this game and then come back around and explore it. And things change at that point, which give you more reasons to explore. So I think they really thought about that as well. And I also just think that the pacing of placing various challenges around the level of, here's one where you're going to go into a room and it's going to be a platforming challenge or some other similar kind of challenge. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I don't think nothing in this game is the most difficult. But I do think it's well paced out. And then you can always make it a little bit more challenging by 100%ing it. And maybe that's not what people want when they are looking for a challenge. But for me, I'm like, no, that's totally how I want it to work. I'm fine with like, I stumbled into a Banandium gym here. And now I got enough to do whatever, to upgrade or whatever. And now finding the last 5 in this world is actually kind of difficult. And where is this thing? How do I even get this? How do I get around there? How do I? Some of them are difficult platforming challenges. I can think of one that I was like, oh, that's clever. So it just has all of it. It does all of it really well. But yeah, I'm really, really enamored with everything that I've experienced in this game, and I'm still playing it. Credits happened. I'm 100%ing this thing for sure.
Yeah, springboarding off of what you said there. I do think that it's awesome. We talked about, me and you talked about this a lot in the GB plays, where it's very accommodating.
Yeah.
The fact that you can play it and just mainline it basically, and then come back and do anything you want later. That's really how it's designed, I would say. But that freaking sonar, man, the sonar clap, I can't do it. The game is telling me, hey, but what if you went over here?
Yeah.
If you went over here, it's great breadcrumbs. And I love that the game lets you play however the hell you want.
Yes.
You can go just right down the main path, or you can do what I'm doing and you just do every little thing that you see. Not necessarily everything. I'm not like opening the map and saying, okay, I'm missing 4 bananas. I can't move on to the next area.
That's where I'm at now.
Just, yeah, I'll come back and get those later. That's fine.
Are you saying you don't want the game to hold your hand? Like you don't want it to show you where to go? Is that what you're
saying that like because it the game or the world feels so well designed, and it works so well with its systems of like the sonar that he can't help but feel like he's being like the way I was drawn to the next level by like a bunch of bananas just went down that hole. He's being drawn in a different direction because he claps and he sees a bunch of flashing things all around that makes him want to go explore in that direction. And it works on both levels.
It is. Yeah. But the lack of handholding is like, it's an option. Like the game it's not explicitly telling you, it's not saying you need to go down this path. It's saying this is the path. Here is your next checkpoint. Go do the thing. It's a very like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom thing of, hey, this is where your next objective is. Go do the thing. But if you want to do every little thing that we've hidden along the way, we're not going to stop you. Pauline's not going to stop and say, hey, DK, we really need to get going and do the next thing. Like, no, she's just going to like comment out, wow, that was really fun. I'm thinking to myself, that was fun, Pauline. I am having a great damn time just playing the video game.
You are. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this, though. I found that some layers I wanted to get out of as soon as possible. I just did not find myself enjoying that particular layer as much. One of them being the landfill. It's just a layer where it's mostly garbage, mostly digging, and you're just basically you're always confined in those. Like I liked being able to explore and punch through walls and like dig a tunnel through a wall and see what's on the other side. But when it becomes the entire level, and when the camera, sometimes I found that the camera had a lot of trouble if it's like trying to follow me as I'm making my tunnel, and it's going all over the place, and I'm silhouetting over here, and it's just not lining up where I want it to. I can't see what I'm trying to see. That I think was one of the weaker parts of the game. So then have an entire layer where that is the dominant viewpoint I have for most of the layer. I just wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. I don't know that it'll stop me from wanting to 100% the game. I may just grin and bear it, go back, find the bananas, and be done with it forever. But I feel like that part of it just added a little frustration that otherwise I would have been fine with.
I definitely got pretty quickly used to the camera, the way it works underground, but I know that is going to be the source of a lot of frustration for a lot of casual players, I think, or typical players. But it like for me, when I was doing it, it's like, okay, if the camera is ever in a situation where I see that silhouette, it's probably not going to feel good. So I just try to bring the camera down into the ground, and once it does that and everything becomes transparent, then it's like, oh, this is pretty good. Because at a certain point, and I think this is the main reason that I followed that main trail, the main breadcrumbs, is because the game's about destruction and about punching, and the materials have different strengths to them. And when you punch through sand, it like evaporates, and when you punch through stone, it takes a couple punches before you move on. I just started like taking the path of least resistance, and sometimes that meant like, I'm just going to feel my way through this level and not even like really see what's going on. And somehow, I don't know how to say this without making it sound like excusing the camera, but it just didn't bother me because I was loving the way that felt so much that I could feel my way through it. And I'm kind of like, okay, I'm glad that they made a game and didn't shy away from enabling that sort of play because the camera was a little bit tricky in those situations.
I think the camera is like the best they could have done without just putting it like right behind DK, and you have no field of view whatsoever.
It is pretty close. It's a pretty close camera overall.
It is, but it's also like you can rotate it. You can see like, unless it's like bumping into a wall, you can like see all around you and everything. I think that's very good. I do think on the subject though, maybe my one gripe with the game is that it does feel like the two halves are very separated out. At least the way I'm playing, I can very much feel that I am doing the digging portion on the overworld, and then I go to separate areas to do the platforming challenges. I haven't, at least halfway-ish maybe through the game, I haven't had any platforming challenges really in the main large areas. It feels like I'm going somewhere else, and I think I do kind of prefer the way, because I wouldn't say I have a problem with it. It just feels a little weird. And I think I prefer the way that, say, Mario Odyssey did this somewhat, and in a comical fashion, Sonic Frontiers did this a lot, where you'll just be in this big open area, and then a puzzle will be floating in air. It's like, well, I got to get up there and do the platforming puzzle or whatever. But maybe it's because you have so much mobility in this game that they didn't want you like breaking things in order to get there. They want you to actually do the platforming challenge.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I have now gone back and I've been watching some other people play. I did that quick look with Mike. I sequence braked like 5 things in this game because I was just like, I'm going to play the dumb Jeff way. I know the game's trying to get me to do that thing over there, but I don't care. I think I can make this work by throwing some sand over there, or I could probably string together these platforming things. And in that moment, when I was able to like cross some massive gap that I clearly was not supposed to do in this moment, it was awesome. But it reminded me, Sean, that was like, I wish there was more of this sort of designed purposely through the game, and I was doing it more frequently in these levels as opposed to going into the challenge rooms. I definitely felt that in that moment. Yeah.
I'm with you there. And that's sort of applied to, you were saying the boss fights were mostly too easy, but the ones that were difficult, you could kind of figure out ways to brute force as well. A later one, I'm not going to say exactly who it is or where it is, but you had to like create platforms for yourself in order to get where you needed to go. And you did that by throwing chunks. You just throw a chunk and then you walk. But sure. I noticed I could throw the chunk at the enemy and just progress the boss fight from there by doing the damage I needed to do. So it just made it, I didn't have to go to the platform and then hit anymore. I just already did the hit. So I could just throw a bunch of chunks and then go to the next part of the fight, if that makes sense. It'll make sense probably to Jeff. But that to me, it sort of puts a spotlight on what little inconsistencies or what little gripes I have. While being able to brute force is fun, as Jeff just said, I kind of wish there was more of a integrated platforming or integrated things.
I want both. Give me the chance to like make it so open that I can like define my own capabilities to get through this world. Sure. I guess, do I want both? I want this, and then I want Mario Odyssey 2. Is really, because I think the way they designed this game works for what it is. And if I had to choose, Sean, I think I'm on your side where the jumping around in Odyssey is probably my slight preference. But I don't want to forsake this to get more of that, because the destruction in here and the ability to like have these materials work together has been so cool to see. It is another Nintendo game that's like, I bet developers play this and pull out their hair and say, "Oh my god, I can't believe anyone actually did this." It's that kind of game.
It's different flavors, and I think that's cool. It's like with pizza. I do want that like pepperoni pizza, but I also like the barbecue chicken pizza or whatever. I like mixing it up a lot. I like to get the Supreme sometimes. That's what Nintendo's kind of doing right now. A lot of their stuff feels like it's in the same house, but it's different flavors of the same thing. I appreciate that they're doing that, and Bonanza feels like another one of those.
That was a very risky analogy, because if you had said like pineapple or anchovies,
I made sure to avoid that one, Jason. Don't you worry.
I feel like we dodged a few bullets there. I thought you were going to say these like the meat lovers. Like, look, I get it. You want to put pepperoni or buffalo chicken,
too old
or
for
even
meat
like
lovers.
It's like too much.
But like a meat lovers one, I'm getting the itis immediately from that.
Yeah, man.
I'm sweating. I'm burping. I'm just like, ugh, what have I done?
Yeah.
Well, I feel left out in this Donkey Kong conversation because I started playing this game, right? Like an idiot a moron, like a buffoon, because I live with a 10-year-old super cool gamer who was like, "You're not playing this, I am." And I'm like, I guess you're right. Like,
as a 6-year-old did the same thing to me. She literally comes up, says, "That's mine now," and took the Switch 2 away. I was like, "Oh my God, you're a bully."
He goes, "Why weren't you playing this in your office?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I kind of wanted you to see it, but now in retrospect, I realize all I have done is given you this game to play ahead of me. It's kind of like Astrobot all over again." So I've been watching Dib play this game for about 6 hours, and he is one of these people who is just like, "I can't believe this game's letting me do all this destruction. That is very neat." I think I have heard a lot of the criticism that you guys are starting to pop up, mostly with like, there's too many needless bananas, right? Like I hear that a lot, and I didn't get it through his play because he's like a freak. He'll just do everything. That's just what I've heard anecdotally.
I actually would agree with that. I've had so many where it's just like, I'm just tunneling. It's like, oh, there's one. Okay, I didn't do anything to get here. It just like happened to be on the way.
I don't like the idea of like, oh, you have to do something to get the banana. If you're playing the game and you're exploring, you happen to stumble across one. I think having like a handful of those in each level is cool. But, and then there are also the ones where you have to do something.
Right, but think of Odyssey. Odyssey never had one where you like really just get it for no reason. You do like even a small thing, you know, even if it's like water the plant or something, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe, but I remember hearing a very similar criticism for Odyssey of people like, I'm just stumbling across moonshines or whatever they're called. And they're not called moonshines, that's alcohol.
But that's a whole different game. Big jugs.
Yeah.
But like, they're just rewards for exploration, right? You're exploring these open worlds, these open places, and getting these. Like every time I'm a big sonar guy, so every time I do the sonar clap and I see the silhouette of a banana over there, my first thought is, all right, well, how am I getting over there? I'll tell you what, the game clicked for me at one point very early. It was just a banana behind one of the concrete walls, right? And I'm trying to get around it. I don't think I had the first Bonanza yet, so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get around to get this banana. And then I realized I just go under the wall. Let's go under the wall and get the banana that way. And that was like, okay, cool. It's going to reward me for doing things out of the way they want me to do it. Now, I did notice that I would get bananas like by digging into a hidden room that I wasn't supposed to be in, and then fighting my way out of it, as opposed to coming in, getting the banana and leaving. Which again, I think is just a reward for exploration. That the thing, it's the open world versus like the old Zelda formula. Argument, right? Do you want to be rewarded for exploration, or do you just want to go around an empty world, see what's there, and then get back on the beaten path? And I think I prefer what Bonanza's doing here as opposed to that alternative.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell he's having fun exploring, and we're laughing a lot, and it's just real goofy and dumb, and you know, Donkey Kong, he's kind of an idiot. I mean,
he's a goober.
You know, like I God forbid this guy like looks like he knows what's happening.
No, he's just so empty-headed, and I love it. Yeah. Never had
any dialogue tree. Any dialogue tree is just like actual options, and then bananas.
Yeah, and I answer bananas every time, and everyone's like, "Oh, live your truth, brother. It's great."
Yeah. It's an insult to primates. I really gotta say, like, I've been craving bananas so bad in the last like 2 weeks. It's been crazy.
Now I have to ask. I have to ask all four of you, since you started playing this game like a little more than a week ago, how many times have you, your children, or anyone else who has watched you play this game said, "Oh, banana"? Because I am at least in the hundreds. At least.
It's definitely been like banana, that kind of thing.
Oh, banana. I walk past the fruit bowl. Oh, banana. It's just become a thing.
Last night I was playing games with friends, and I have a friend who doesn't have the game. He doesn't have a Switch 2, but like just randomly he said, "Oh, banana." I'm like, how the hell how do you know about that?
It's gotten into the water, you know?
Exactly.
I think, and to go back to Donkey Kong, the best way to describe that guy, I think, is the word oaf. He's an oaf. He's a lovable oaf. You just want to, even when he's like, sort of being like, "No, I don't care what Pauline wants. I just want bananas." You're like, "Yeah, I get it. He's still a monkey." And the dichotomy between those two, DK and Pauline, is awesome.
It's a really good relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not just saying that as a father of daughters, because there's a lot of that there, but it's also like this, I don't know. There's the way that they capture the way that the two of them talk to each other. Pauline's chats with you when you go to the getaways. I watched every single one. In other games, that would be something I would skip to just get over. But the way that she like is just thinking about things and the way that like, oh, look at this over there and making observations about the world that you're in. And if you notice from the beginning of the game, she's very nervous, very reserved, very kept in. But as the game progresses, she starts to break out of that shell, and you see her break out of that shell. I thought it was great characterization.
Literally, yeah.
You know, in terms of breaking out of the shell, though, I do wonder how this game would have been different if she stayed as Oddrock longer. Because, like, very quickly they transitioned from Oddrock to Pauline. I'm like, that was like an hour or something. Like,
yeah,
I know she's part of the marketing. It's not like some secret that she's like the other main character. And it's definitely better for marketing for it to be DK and Pauline. Old people know who that is. Younger people are like, oh, it's sort of a father-daughter kind of thing going on here. It's cute. But I do kind of wonder if they would have kept that a surprise, how we all would have reacted to that. Especially because Oddrock was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
and
I thought
especially the way she speaks and everything, be a little stilted. And it's like, you get banana. She's like, I'm happy. I'm like, oh, it's adorable. I kind of wonder, you know.
I like left the room for an hour. I had seen The Rock, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's your buddy. You know, I guess it makes sense for a dumb idiot, you know, gorilla to have a dumb rock as a friend. Like that's. And then I came back, and he's like, hey, Dad, that rock's a girl now. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Sick. I like where this game's going.
I wish the game was almost a little bit even more of a musical than it is. She sings. That's Pauline's whole thing. And there are, the Bonanza powers, like those are musical moments. She's singing, that's what turns you into those things.
It's sick.
It's awesome, yes. And then the ending, of course, is going to have a couple of those moments. I kind of wish there was just like a few more spread throughout that were similar to Jump Up Superstar from Odyssey. Could use a little bit, because I'm like, I think this game might be a musical, and I like that idea of Nintendo going all out on that. And there are some songs where I'm like, oh yeah, I think these are going to be like hits with people who like show tunes and stuff like that, especially like the end credits song. But I would like even more of that. I think they kind of underplayed that strong card that they had there.
Yeah, but I would like to give props to the vocalist too. That Jenny Kidd, I think is her name. I don't know if this is her first turn doing voice acting or what, but man, she was awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Everyone, obviously, I don't know what the final boss is. Everyone keeps talking about, or like the ending or whatever it is, and I'm just like, okay, well, that I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It's not that big.
Seeing Donkey fight the Chiquita Corporation. I don't know what
Banjo shows up with a gun and he's revealed to be the real bad guy, actually.
Yeah. Looking forward to experiencing that with my family. Very good. All right, what's everyone else playing? Someone has Mario Paint in the rundown here, and I want to know more about this game I've never heard of.
It launched on Switch 2 yesterday. So Nintendo last night released this on Nintendo Switch Online, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and they included mouse support. So on Switch 1, you could plug in a USB mouse, something you could do in a lot of games on Switch 1, but it's kind of a feature they don't talk about a ton. But on Switch 2, obviously, you could just use the Joy-Con, and it works like a mouse, and there's like no problem there, and it's great. And Mario Paint's back. It is still that game, and I still like I'm still like messing around, but I was never great at any paint program. Although I just got done listening to that book, The History of the Pixel, where they talk a lot about the history of paint programs, and so I'm like a little bit more curious about like, how is this working? I'm like a little bit more in awe. Whereas a kid, I'm like, yeah, this is what you do with computers. You draw on them and you make stuff. But I did forget like how much there is. There's it's quite capable. Like there's an animation.
There's like a music maker, right?
There's a famous music maker where it's like that is still something that to this day people have recreated that online and added a bunch of other sound profiles. So you can use the Mario Paint music making tool to recreate other songs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the one I played with the most as a kid, like making the Star Wars theme or trying to make the Star Wars theme as best I could, things like that. But yeah, it's just cool to see this back. It's cool to see cool to see Nintendo just drop this into NSO. I was like, what are they going to do with Mario Paint? They will do something, have the mouse, but are they going to like re-release it or something like that? It's like, no, it's just in Nintendo Switch Online. It does make me wonder, like, do they follow this up with a new Mario Paint that is a full release? Because it's like they do have a mouse for this thing, and they're kind of making a big deal about it. I don't know. I'm a little bit.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And
If it were me,
If
it were me, I would say you make a Mario Music Maker and just include the paint features with it, because the Music Maker has been what has has persisted all these years. So if you market it as a Music Maker and hey, there's paint stuff too, I think that would make more sense as far as a new piece of software.
Right. I was going to say something similar. Mario Maker 3, it's more than just levels. It is all the Mario Paint stuff, because still just Mario Maker, you can just have it all in one place, right?
It's wild how influential the music part of that has been from the original Paint, right? It's like without Mario Paint, there's no Teenage Engineering. I feel like there's just some.
I think there are a lot of people from our generation that got introduced to the idea of a digital audio interface. From Mario Paint. Like, it was the first time that people realized you can make music with a computer, and that was
like
pretty eye-opening.
Anytime there's like a someone who works with synth tunes, chip tunes, and that kind of stuff, like on a GDQ couch, they'll say like, yeah, I got my start, making this stuff in Mario Paint, and then I just got really into doing the sequencer stuff, and now it's my job.
We had always assumed that Mario Paint was going to be a thing with the mouse as soon as there was the mouse, right? Like that
it was the first thing everyone thought of. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's cool to see. What I feel like there are still GameCube like gaps in Nintendo Switch Online.
There's like 4 games on there so far. So like there's not a ton of gaps left on the systems that were on before GameCube, at least in terms of games that would be easy for Nintendo to put on there, because
nothing glaring.
They're not making a lot of third-party deals, and then in terms of first-party, nothing too glaring. There's a couple exceptions on N64 specifically, where it's like, why isn't the Diddy Kong Racing and Donkey Kong 64? Well, it's like, well, that's some rare stuff, but they own those things. They could put it on there. They just haven't yet. But for GameCube, there's a ton of stuff that they could still do, and they've announced a few that haven't even come out yet.
I would imagine a lot of it gets dicey, just because I do think that era is maybe a bit ripe for the sort of like remastering harvest, right?
That's
It's sort of right.
You would think so, but at least with first party, like Wind Waker was there day one, and we all thought Wind Waker wasn't going to happen because they would just port over Wind Waker HD. But they're like, they just put that on the service. So whether they do Wind Waker HD on Switch 2 or not, like that's just there. And so you assume same could happen with Twilight Princess. Same could happen with Mario Sunshine, even though they have the option of just, literally re-releasing 3D All-Stars. Like, all the first-party stuff, I don't know. It seems like maybe they'll do both, or they just put up the GameCube original. Third parties, it's a little different because they would get the cash off a remaster.
Yeah, definitely. And so, I don't expect a ton, or not a ton, but even a little bit of third party, the way that some of the other platforms did, because I think a lot of those are going to do exactly this. They are going to follow it up with remasters and re-release them, because that generation you could still make a ton of money from re-releasing those games. There's a lot of demand for those games generally. That's why the retro market's so expensive, and people always get excited when you say, hey, that GameCube game is coming back. People hop on that.
Yeah, playing Bonanza, I've been thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it be cool if like Aspire or someone did like a Hulk Ultimate Destruction HD? Like, man, that would rip. I'd love that.
Sunshine was the only Mario GameCube game, right?
Correct. Mainline platformer. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Very good. Let's see. We've also have WWE 2K25 on our list.
Specifically on the Switch 2, which is why I figured I would bring it up.
Okay. What do you got?
That version came out a couple weeks ago. Went under fire for some community creation things that were left out, but I didn't have a chance to get into that and see how much of a difference it really made. But as far as like playing WWE on the go on my Switch 2, feels really good. Like I feel like it controls well.
And this series did not feel good on Switch 1, right? It was like pretty rough on Switch 1.
This is my first Switch WWE experience. I played on PlayStation.
I remember the reviews being pretty rough before this, so yeah.
Yeah. This one feels pretty good. the way the code came with all of the DLC attached to it too. So I'm already up to date with where the consoles are now. I all the modes are there. It's a full package except for just the community thing that I hadn't had a chance to really explore yet. But as far as like comparing it to the console or PC experience, I was very impressed. I felt like I was able to, play matches and do everything I would want to do with just as much, speed or quality or whatever as I did in previous versions on the PlayStation 5, and being able to have that WWE 2K experience wherever I want now in the way that it should be is pretty damn cool. I think that's and it's a good way to get like my 9-year-old really likes WWE, but she's never allowed to stay up to watch it. So now if she's not doing anything, be like, hey, go pick your favorite wrestler and go mess around for a little while. And it can start to build that fandom up a little bit too. But yeah, I think it plays great. It's a good option if you're a wrestling fan who wants to be able to play this outside of your house. The lack of cross progression kind of sucks. I wasn't able to connect, or if I haven't figured it out, at least I got my 2K account there, but I wasn't able to connect to my PlayStation account. I don't know if that's a possibility, but for the most part, I was impressed with this port, especially now with the Switch 2 and Switch ports being what they were before. It's good to see this here now.
Yeah, I do find myself thinking when it comes time to buying a game, like I was thinking this with Tony Hawk's because I don't have a copy. I was thinking like, I should maybe I get the Steam version. Like I know it's on Game Pass, but maybe I'm just feeling weird about a lot of that stuff in general. Maybe I get on when it's on sale on like a Green Man Gaming or something like that. And then I had the realization, on Switch 2.
Yep,
and it's probably pretty good on Switch 2. Like maybe I don't want to spend all that money, especially with current events, on that right now, but. Maybe I get like the physical Switch 2 version when that hits the bargain bin or something, because that would be like a decent way to play that. And it is weird to be back in that place of thinking, oh, yeah, I can play a third-party game on my Switch, and it's not like a hugely compromised experience. Well, we'll get to the point where it is like, yeah, it's 30 FPS, bigger consoles are 60 or whatever, but nice to have that option again. Kind of feels like even better than when the Switch 1 launched because there is so much extra power out the gate.
Yep.
Yeah, there is a knock-on effect of this, like, now that I've turned on my Switch 2 to play a video game, I feel like there is this knock-on effect where it has opened up the doors to things where, like, when the original came out, you were just sort of like, oh, all right, this is sort of starting from scratch. But being able to do, Tears of the Kingdom at 60 frames,
yeah.
Just, that has changed the dynamic, at least for me, and what I'm looking for. And now considering it as a mobile thing where like it was basically cemented into the dock for 5 years for me, is definitely like a consideration that I've only just started to have with this thing. It's growing on me. I think I still need some more compelling first party stuff, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
We'll get there. I think it's been a good start now with Donkey Kong. That's helped like really establish like, oh, this thing it certainly feels worth it for me. I mean, at this point, would I recommend it to someone who's like, hey, what about that Switch 2? I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you're feeling that way about it, if you're like asking about it, no, just wait. We wait till this holiday, see what these other games are like, but you could easily wait till next year, and they're probably going to have an Animal Crossing within the next couple of years and a few other things that you'll want. And once, like I've told this before, my friend has a 10 game rule. He doesn't buy a new console until it has 10 games he wants to play. And I think you could sort of like scale that up and down depending on like where you're at. Like 5 games you want to play, that's probably fair to wait
10's
for.
A lot.
10's yeah, well, listen,
that's a lot.
He's got much more savings than I do. So who do you want to trust on this
saves
one?
$100 on every console,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So
my thought with the Switch 2 was these things aren't going down in price. I might as well just buy it right away. I'm buying it either way eventually,
Sorry, I'm
like
real quick. Lexi just got me so bad. I'm like, oh, didn't Nintendo announce the Direct? And Lexi linked
the Wii U tweet.
It's the Wii U tweet. And the name of the console is Wii U. Thanks a lot, Lexi. You got my ass.
Got my ass too, Lex.
It's amazing they haven't deleted that.
Well, I mean, it's true. The name of that console was once the Wii U.
No, but just for like
just the legacy of the Wii U.
Yeah, like maybe we just bring that tweet out back.
Yeah, I just retweeted it again. So
it's like the Virtual Boy. We don't talk about the Wii U unless we're getting like Mega 64 into a skit.
Yeah.
Can you go get a Switch 2? Can you get one?
If you like work hard for like a couple of days, I bet you'll be able to find one. But you're not gonna be able to go like tonight to Target, Target,
stores,
and walk in and get one now.
No, probably not.
And this thing, this thing's expensive. I guess I've never really like had a hard conversation with myself. Like, wow, this thing that doesn't have that much. It's the best-selling console ever.
Fastest selling through the first couple of weeks.
Fastest. Yeah. Right. That's surprising. I think that is still surprising, given its cost and the state of the state. That is surprising.
I think a lot of people are just like me, though, of being like, well, I'm going to have to get one of these eventually because there's going to be the next Mario, the next Zelda, the next Pokemon. Might as well just buy it while it's like, because it seems like there were a lot available at the start. I might as well pick one up now and then I'll have it for the rest of the year, especially if there's any surprises or anything. Might as well.
Right. But I'm building the economic sort of like consideration into that conversation, right? We're like,
oh yeah, I don't feel great about spending $500 on this thing. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, if a fiscally responsible person would not just be like, well, I'm just gonna like basically, dump $500 into this thing as some sort of, I don't know, it's not an investment, it's not some kind of like you're basically just sort of
you're
giving
purchasing
Nintendo
access, right? You're purchasing the ability to access more ways to pay them even more money. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's a slippery slope, right? Like, so that's what I can't connect the dots from that position of like, oh, I'm just going to do this as a preemptive sort of.
It's a Switch effect.
Yeah.
It's a Switch effect. Like everyone had a Switch 1 and they're like, okay, well, I know what this is. And that's why we all said it needs to just be Switch 2. And they did just go with Switch 2 because everyone knows what Switch 1 is, and they're like, oh crap, it's like PlayStation. I just buy the next one. Like PS5, let's be real with ourselves. PS5 doesn't have that much exclusive software that's worth buying one for. If you're hardcore into that ecosystem, you buy because your games are better than ever and you want to play the exclusives.
Exact same thing here, yes.
But yeah, it's also like a $500 thing that it's probably not a great buy in, the grand scheme of things, but it's just what you do because that's what that's where you're comfortable with and everything.
Yeah. I was going to say PlayStation doesn't have any first party software because they keep canceling it. Anyway. But like, see, I justified it as a day one purchase because it's a work thing, right? Being the freelancer in the business that we are, I need to be able to play these games. But there's also a FOMO thing attached to it. If I had the opportunity to be on this podcast and y'all were talking about Bonanza and I hadn't played it, I'd be tearing my hair out. So I knew I was getting it eventually. I knew I was going to want it day one. And any day that I didn't have it after launch, I was just going to think about it until I got it. That being said, if I did not have a big box retailer credit card, I don't know that I would have been able to do it day one. That sort of helped me as well. So I get both sides of it. I need it for the job that I do, but if it weren't for that single thing, I don't know that I would have been able to. So I get why people would wait.
Mine's on a payment plan too. Don't you worry. But
that's fair.
Hey, 0 interest paying 4. I love it. Yeah, it makes the whole world go around. Yeah.
Oh, I needed more than paying for this time around, baby. I did not have a job when I bought this.
I don't know. I was talking to like my buddies, my kids' friends, and I don't think it's kids.
No,
I
not
think
yet.
It is you, Sean.
No.
So
I think it's just you.
This is how it goes right now. We are in the first part where it's going to be the most dedicated Nintendo fans, and this is for every console for the most part. But like the people willing to go and get on their the computer at like 9 p.m. and sit there for an hour and a half, refreshing, trying to get a pre-order at Best Buy, is going to be a certain person with a certain level of disposable income that like kind of lives and breathes Nintendo. It turns out they have made a lot of those people. So for the first like couple of months, they can really thrive on that. And Matt Piscatella, when he had the Circana report for game sales from last month, and it was Nintendo Switch 2 sales, and so yeah, this is the fastest selling ever. Everyone's like, so the price, right? Everyone's complaining about the price. This proves the price is right? And he's like, look, it proves the price is correct for this early audience, but it's going to have another test when it gets to this holiday. And will the families that show up at that point with the kids saying, hey, can I get a Switch 2? Will those kids be able to convince their parents at that point at this price? That's still up in the air. We really don't know if that's happened yet.
Yeah, they had this entire year as like a buffer for us hardcore fans, and even like some of like the connected like soccer moms and dads who are watching like today
Those
or whatever.
Connected soccer moms.
Well, like for real, the ones who watch like the news shows and they're like, "This is the hot new item right now. The Switch 2, it's out. You gotta grab this for the kids are gonna want this."
I promise you,
like,
Nintendo's talked about the concept of connected soccer moms like internally before.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on a deck somewhere.
100%.
For sure, represented by the coolest Deborah imaginable. I bet.
But that's why the game at the end of the year is Pokemon, because then once all the hardcore crowd has their Switch 2,
I still maintain
that's when they get the kids.
A chasm is widening. Like the Grubb children, the Bakalar children are not typical children.
No, definitely not.
And something is changing, and I'm sure they've realized it internally, but like that number, their age, the target number, it is rising. The age number is rising.
I think Nintendo has mostly buffered themselves against this concern. The problem that we're talking about is you make a bigger problem for Sony and Microsoft, who are like, we have to we have to build our consoles in such a way that we convince a new generation of children who do not accept paying $500 for a console as a default way to access their games, that they need to do that when they can just go get all their games anywhere else for free right now and their friends are already playing it. That's such a massive hurdle. Nintendo certainly that affects them, but it's much, much, much less as opposed to what has happened with Microsoft and especially Microsoft, but also even Sony.
Right, and part of that is because Nintendo has positioned itself to be the first console with all of its family-friendly software and stuff like that. I agree with you 100%.
It really is Pokemon.
It really is. And you were saying that Nintendo's given themselves a buffer for the first year. I don't know that they think the same way, because when Pokemon comes out, they're bundling it with the Switch 2.
Yeah, they're going hard,
remember?
Right at that point,
So they think they can win this holiday at this price point, and I don't know if that's possible. I'd like to think so, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But they're certainly going to try. They're certainly not resting on their laurels. They got the Mario Kart sickos in the door, and now they're going to get the Pokemon sickos at holiday time.
That's why Mario Kart was such a smart potential pack. And like, yes, you paid more, but you paid less than individually. That's why it was such a smart launch game, pack-in game, because you get all the hardcore sickos, but you do get some of those families like I was talking about, because they look at it and they're like, oh, Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart. There's absolutely parents who are going to be like, well, we already have Mario Kart. We don't need another one. But there's going to be the other ones who enjoy playing with their kids and everything, and the kids want it too, where they're like, well, that's just the next one. Yeah, I guess we will just get the next one. Why not?
I guess I'm just sort of like, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo is positioned to do a better Roblox, or like a version of it.
Well, I mean, they got
like
that
in their own ecosystem.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Everyone's trying to do the Roblox, though. That's
of course,
thing.
But
so
like
Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff. Yeah,
right. Of course, but like I do think from like a 1-to-1, like let's just rip this off. Certainly, Roblox knows what that's like, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they really are. Who's positioned better to do that? They've already sort of like conceded, like, oh, we're going to go on other platforms from like a mobile device point of view, and try and find children where they are. I'm not rooting for them to do that, but certainly you would also probably have a much better sort of like good faith relationship with parents who. Half of them don't even understand what Roblox is, and the other half is sort of like too idiotic to be concerned, right?
Yeah.
So
the Roblox and as a concept of user-generated content funding and fueling the ecosystem
goes against.
It's antithetical to Nintendo, but
right, of course. I still think look at Mario Maker. Like, what's that?
I still think you're right that Nintendo could easily go into that space and do something. Well, not easily, but they could go in that space and probably dominate it if they wanted to. I just don't think they want to.
I personally kind of feel better about I live in a no Roblox county. It's been banned federally locally here. No, I'm kidding, but just saying like but straight up, like
it's a dry county.
It's a 4-letter word in this house, right? Like it really is.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Jason. What were you going to say?
I'm the same as you. Roblox does not get played in this house. I refuse to allow any of their devices to have it. And if I have to dabble onto it for a job or a writing article or whatever, I hold my nose the entire time I do it. So Nintendo trying to figure out a way to ape Roblox's shtick. Ape. There you go. See, simply for the giving the parents an alternative they're familiar with. So I 100% agree with you. If there was a Roblox user-generated content program that was Nintendo's with their IPs and their characters and their worlds and all that stuff, and you could just do whatever you wanted with that, I think that would be an absolute gangbuster. And Minecraft sort of gave them that with the Mario tie-in specifically to the Switch version, right? My kids play that all the time. So if they tried to do that again with something that's purely, and maybe they call it Mario Paint to get the nostalgic people in and to wrap this discussion in a nice big bow, I don't know. But now that you've said that, Jeff, I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. I really
don't. It just seems like, I mean, I'm sure they are aware of that.
They're testing out ideas all the time, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, I think lastly that chat pointed out, Nintendo just doesn't follow trends, and they just don't do things unless it makes sense for them creatively. Yeah. Because they're a business first and foremost. Their legal team reminds us of that all the time. But they want to get a game out there that is like someone in the company's vision for what they want it to be. It's why they didn't have a shooter until Splatoon came out, because they wanted something that could be the family-friendly thing, the cute thing that everyone wears on t-shirts and like bags and stuff like that. They wanted something that would connect with everyone, and they nailed it. Like, yeah, paintball, of course, like that's a natural fit for Nintendo. That's what they're doing here. I think that's what the play test thing is probably gonna end up being, is them trying to do that kind of thing. They dabble here and there, Mario Maker a little bit, even Game Builder Garage a little bit, Labo, if you think of it, kind of a little bit of that as well, even though that's leaning into the cardboard toys trend of that era. But I think they're gonna get there. It's just a matter of, well, let's not just rip something else off. Let's make this make sense for us. And that's why, like, Bonanza took them this long to basically make a Minecraft in a way. It's, you're not like building huge structures and everything, but they lean into that in the direct, like, hey, sculpt with the mouse and everything like that. So they're getting there, just when it makes sense for them to do so.
Now, somebody in chat also makes a great point. The reason we might not have seen this yet is because of Nintendo coming off of Miiverse and all of the interesting drawings, let's say, that happened there. They may be like, oh, we can't do user-generated content
our
ever
penis
again.
Detection technology is not where we need it to be.
We need more dick detection, damn it.
I think wherever that
ends up.
I believe in Shiggy, just working away in that room, like find the dick.
His final masterpiece.
Shiggy works for Nintendo?
Not Shingy.
Okay, sorry.
Are you a digital prophet and Nintendo together at last?
I was going to say, this seems like a job exclusively for a digital prophet. Not only that, but to also advise them to stop using the letter O and number 0 interchangeably in codes.
Nintendo's actually good about that, right? Because
I thought they still did that.
No, they have it so like it's not only is it not you can't use both. They gray out all the things they don't use on the keyboard when you enter the enter the code. Yeah. It might not work on if you're doing it on the website, because obviously you got your own keyboard there.
If you figured that out, dick detection is the next logical step. Yes. Okay.
Detection. Yeah, of course.
Detection.
We don't have a lot of other games that we've been playing, so that was a pretty hefty what we have been playing segment. I'll just say real quick, I'll be able to talk about Ninja Gaiden Ragebound next week. I can't say anything else at this point, but looking forward to talking about that game for sure.
Very good. All right. Well, that means we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the news. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Giant Bombcast. I believe news is in the air. Isn't that right, Jeff Grubb?
That's right. I had to turn down way too much. There we go.
This feels official.
That's right, everybody. We got some news. I also just let me get back away from these emails. I forgot to put emails in because Jam was out. He usually does that. Even when he's out, he usually does that, but this time he's very out. So we get away from that. Go over to the headlines here. Here we go. Microsoft has reversed plans to charge $80 for The Outer Worlds 2. Microsoft originally was going to charge $80 for this and a bunch of its other holiday games a few weeks back. You might remember they said, hey, just to let you all know, we're charging $80 for games going forward, starting with The Outer Worlds 2, which is coming out October 29th. Well, they have gone back on that decision. It is now $70 instead of $80, and people are kind of happy it's only $70. But so quite a move there. This also applies to Call of Duty, and there's a Grounded 2. Maybe I don't know. There's other games coming out this year. I don't think Grounded 2 is going to be that much, but yeah. So they are postponing it. That does not mean they will never charge $80 for a game. They probably will do so sometime next year. Everyone's sort of speculating, Gears of War E-Day. They could easily do that for $80 at that point and probably get away with it. And now people...
We talked about this on the mess last week with my tinfoil hat theory that it was never going to be $80.
Like they just did
this. My theory is that it was never going to be $80. They just put it out there to see what fan reaction would be like. And Outer Worlds 2 was a safe enough game that they could do that and reverse decision later on. I was told that was too smart for Microsoft, but I really do think that they just were kind of like, let's test the waters here, and we can, save ourselves if we want, if we need to, and back up on this price. And that's exactly what happened. I don't think you're going to see $80 from first party until Gears of War E-Day, like you said. I think that's one where they can justify, yes, here it is, new Gears of War that you've been waiting for. This is where we're going to go up to $80. Now they're going to have egg on their face because why did you renege before, and now you're going to go back to it now? And the only answer they're going to have is, well, it's Gears of War, which is prime Microsoft these days. Just likes to back themselves in the corners they didn't have to back themselves into in the first place.
Professional rake stepper honor company. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
100%. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think the grounded version of the conspiracy theory. Yeah, I think you're onto it there, where they need to try it with something. They need to test the water, quote unquote, need. They don't have to, but they need to try it eventually for something if they are going to charge more. This was not the game to do it on. Like you're saying, it is Gears of War or the next Halo or something like that. Yeah. This was a weird one to try it out on. But I do think that they were just trying it and saying, all right, is this going to work? Oh, no, it did not work. Pre-orders are bad and everyone hates us. Like, take it back.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks to admit that there is like zero consequences also of this. Like, there's not someone who's like, I am now just never going to play The Outer Worlds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there is, that's a very small population. And the thing that sucks is like, you kind of can just do this now. You kind of can just like, test the fences a little bit and see. I think all that's really netted out of this is the discovery that like you can charge $80 for a game, but there's sort of a unknown list of titles that earn that level of expense, right? And like it's this undefined list of games, and we all will sort of like figure that the market kind of will, decide that, I guess.
Right. But what this does is it, moves that window of like acceptable game prices even higher because now people are like very ready to settle on the $70 price. And, we were months ago, people were still like kind of complaining about that. Be like, man, $70 for a game. That's too expensive. That's done. We're not having that conversation anymore. It's $80 and $70 is well cemented into place.
Exactly. What it does is it just lowers the defense over a long enough period of time where it kind of just like chips away at that resistance and normalizes it. And that's really
in another way, Jerf, I think you're on something though, of like the reason there's not going to be an effect from all this in part is people feel how they feel about Microsoft right now. People are either just, they hate Microsoft and they want nothing to do with them. I'm slowly leaning into that with all the layoffs and everything. Or they're just going to play the games no matter what. And so this hasn't really changed anything because that's just where the company is at right now.
Real quick, I was like speculating. Well, it was Grounded 2. Grounded 2 is only $30. It's in early access. There's no way it was ever going to be.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
It's also early access today.
Yeah. I'm going to download it as soon as we're done. Maybe try to find some way to play it this week. Sean, you going to be around to play it?
No.
Our buddy's going to Evo, everybody. Have fun. Hollow Knight Silksong will be playable at Gamescom. Xbox confirms Hollow Knight Silksong will be playable at Gamescom 2025. It was announced in 2019. I think Mike played it around 2019 or 2020, allegedly.
Dream.
Yeah. And now, it's going to be there. This game feels like it might actually come out this year. They said it's coming out this year, but they've said such things before. Here it is. And now people are going to get a chance to go hands-on. I don't know. At this point, like, can it live up to expectations? What do you guys think the release date's going to be? I don't know.
The fact that it's tied to the ROG Ally X or the Xbox ROG Ally, excuse me, is kind of worrying. I feel like.
Here's the thing with that real quick is they made it sound like it's tied together, but Team Cherry went on later to say it is not like a launch game for the Xbox ROG Ally X. They definitely are associated, but I don't know if tied is the right word. That's
what Microsoft wants you to think, because they want people to think of it as a console.
Yeah, but the fact that these smoking mirrors exist,
you're right,
and the fact that the game has taken so long to come out, there's a lot of red flags. I want to be wrong. I want this game to be as well received as the first one, but something about it just is not sitting right with me. And if it comes out and people are underwhelmed or just whelmed instead of being, crazy about this thing, I feel like that's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that's one of the reasons I think it has taken so long, is that people making the game are well aware of how it could be a disappointing follow-up, and they are so used to the praise. They're like, man, we got to get this right. We got to get this right. I do not envy any indie studio that's in that position. There's a handful of them that like put out just banger game, and they're going to do the follow-up, and now they got to live up to that. And a lot of those end up taking 10 years for that reason of, those expectations must weigh heavy on their shoulders. With release news expected soon, Metroid Prime 4 has been rated. This is from Andy Robinson, VGC over there. He spotted, someone else might have spotted, the South Korea's classification board has rated Metroid Prime 4. Usually, not always, but usually when that happens, we get the game 6 weeks to 16 weeks later, something. It could come out anytime before the end of the year is the reality here. But this is like signs of life. It also is signs that, man, they should tell us when that game's coming out here relatively soon. That goes toward the rumored Nintendo Direct that is supposed to happen this week. I'm still hopeful for that. When a Direct usually happens, it happens on like a Wednesday or a Thursday. So we could still get it this week. And if we do, I fully expect them to give us the release date, but I'm thinking probably November, maybe December even for this game. It feels like they are going full on into the year for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, if it's not the week before Black Friday, which is a sweet spot they like to release their big games in, it'll be, I think, maybe 2 weeks after, like in that first week, second week of December sort of slot there. But we do kind of have to have that July Nintendo Direct soon, right? We're running out of July.
July's not over yet, to be fair. July's not over. All right.
So Nate the Hate, you have one day for an announcement. If it's not if a Nintendo Direct is not announced at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, you may have been wrong,
Nate,
sir.
You have my blessing to yell at Jason Fanelli. Is July over, you dipshit, or whatever the hell I said that one time. Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I hope he's right, but he's got 48 hours. He's wrong.
He's also not the only one. VGC has also said they heard a Direct is happening. So I think one's going to happen. I think the question is it going to be a main Direct, a mini or something? I don't know.
Or partner.
Yeah. I don't know. What's usually the time period between them announcing and the Direct? It could be like 24 hours, right?
It could be
25 hours usually.
They have occasionally done it where they did not announce anything and they just released it, like shadow dropped it, and that was a Nintendo Direct Mini. So it could be anything, really. Though sometimes they've announced it 2 days ahead of time. Most of the time, usually it's about 1 day. So
okay,
we'll see.
Well, I'm just speaking in 24-hour increments. There's plenty of July left.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just looking forward to this getting rated, because that means that it is a real product that we will have semi soon.
Oh, it's a real product, Sean. I can tell you that.
It's hard to believe. Like, Durf, you might not know this about me. I'm a huge Metroid fan, and I've it was rough for a long time there. For a solid decade,
it
sucked to be a Metroid fan. But I'm getting the dread, not actual dread, but the Metroid dread effect all over again. Where, oh my God, it's been so long since Prime 3. Y'all, I was in middle school when Prime 3 dropped. It's been that freaking long.
Upsetting.
You don't have to say that out loud.
Yeah,
I think
sucked actually to hear.
What?
It sucks more for you guys than me, but I just had to put that one on the podcast at least once.
The back of my brain was like, all right, let's do the math here, and then just gave up.
Yeah.
It was like, no.
I hate
like,
it's been almost 20 years since Metroid Prime 3 came out, and like waiting that long for a game, that only happens so often. So I'm so looking forward to this.
I don't believe you. I don't think that's
just
I don't think
refuse
that's
them.
real.
We refuse what you just said.
We're just
big
ignoring
Metroid
that.
fan.
Yeah, I like Metroid too. I also think it's like, I guess but you're right. It's like 2 decades go by and you're like, I haven't played a substantial entry in this thing in a while. And it's like, is it even real anymore?
It just doesn't feel that way. Yeah.
Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 3. I guess 2 did not stick with me in the way that 1 and 3 did.
Prime 2's weird. It's not as good as the 1 for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sean. It doesn't sound like I'm as much of a sicko as you are, but I certainly am looking forward to this, and also for the fact that like Dan has it on his fantasy critic.
That's gonna be so sweet.
He's got his counter pick, so he thinks it's not coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who completely borked their counter pick as well this year, and also having GTA 6.
Oh, I counterpicked GTA 6. I'm the one whose crazy counterpick actually worked out.
Yeah, you were the smart guy all along.
Lucked out there.
Imagine, I drafted GTA 6 and unnamed third 3D Mario platformer. I was half right.
Yep. So Mike had the number 1 pick, and he picked unnamed 3D Mario platformer with the first pick. He was that confident. Yeah. Did not work out for him.
Nikki called us all idiots for not picking Mario Kart after World came out. I'm kind of glad I didn't pick Mario Kart. I don't know what's in it. It's probably not as high as we thought it would have been.
I think it's like high 80s still, right?
It's still up there. Don't get me wrong.
Maybe it's
you're still getting points, but you're not getting all the points that you
it wasn't like a guaranteed 95 like we thought it would be.
Not.
Yeah, it's not that's not a first round draft performance that you're expecting.
We got to do an update on the draft here sometime soon.
We do.
87, by the way, for Mario Kart World on Open.
Higher than it should be, but yeah.
I think it's still more than my pick. I think I picked Doom, and that flopped for me as well. We're all losers.
All I do looking at my list is like, where are the games that I've picked? Like, where are they coming out? What is their story?
No, give us one. What is one? Are you looking at it? Like, what's one game on your list?
Selfishly, it's like Skate Story. I'm not expecting this game to get rated 100.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm very obsessed with this little game that it speaks to me in ways that I can't really put into words.
They've say
said it's coming out this year.
It's coming out this year. Yes.
Yeah. So and then Silent Hill F, that's got a date, right? That's got October, I think.
God, that was that's wild that they dated that. Yeah. I'm still not like that Silent Hill 2 just came out last year and they already have Silent Hill F ready to go. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. itch.io has hidden its entire not safe for work games library and then some as payment providers pressure stores. This is the ongoing story. Happened with Valve and Steam last week. Steam seemed to be a little bit more capable of picking the offending games that sort of broke the rules set down by payment processors who have been influenced by these anti-porn crusader groups. I think in Australia or from somewhere, wherever. And so Valve was able to just pick a few games, get them off the store, and I think they're probably going to take down more games as this goes along. Itch did not seem to have this internal capacity to pick and choose. So any game that was tagged with adult at all was removed from the store. And they said they'll try to bring back as many games as they can, but they also said for sure some games won't be coming back. This is sort of just the way that some of these things go, where these very insular groups can go to these payment processing companies and demand that they don't allow their technology to be used to purchase certain things. And I think that these are relatively conservative companies in all senses of the word conservative, where they're politically conservative, but also conservative in terms of decision making and not wanting to take any risks or not wanting to risk the headline of, MasterCard is a pro porn group or whatever. And so they're like, whatever, we'll just do this. Leave us alone. And now here we are. You cannot use, I guess you can't, it's not that you can't use your MasterCard. It's like you cannot make one of these games and then make money on Steam and itch.io anymore because someone might use a Visa or a MasterCard to make that purchase. And that has been disallowed. It seems like it's going to keep spreading too. Like they started with Valve, they went here, and it's like, okay, they're going to just move on to the next target. And of course, it's like you say, oh, I don't buy porn games. It's affecting all kinds of games. There was one that was just like a joke on adulting, and that got taken down because it had the word adult in it. And it's going to, as always, the stated goal is we are going after these deviants and their pornography. And the underlying, dog whistle, but it's so loud it barely qualifies as a dog whistle. They're going after LGBTQ people. And the good news here, the one side of the story that is somewhat bright is, it seems like a lot of people who consider themselves gamers hate this. And they are calling up the credit card companies and trying to tie up their phone lines with complaints about this, trying to fight back against it. And it's like, if there is one sort of a group of consumers that knows how to get loud and annoying, it's gamers. And so I'm like feeling a little hopeful that they can get in the ass of these companies and maybe change the way that this is being handled. Because it's happened in other places. It's happened like OnlyFans definitely got targeted before, things like that. So hopefully that the fight can maybe end here and some pushback and some sanity can return. But yeah.
So I've only been kind of anecdotally following this story, and I don't know if you have the appetite to unpack it and sort of educate me. I heard like Hassan talking about it a little bit. What is the driving force? Like what and how are they able to manifest this amount of influence?
So it's a Australian group called a Collective Shout, right?
Yes.
And they are, I think they're just very good at getting the ear of these companies. How they're able to do that, I think was something we're still not sure about. But I think
that's my question.
Yes.
Right. Because all of these freaky groups are out there, but like it's the power, it's the influence that I'm like not clear about.
My guess would be it's like there's someone connected at a group like this that knows how to get a hold of like, not necessarily a lobbyist, but knows how that process works and is able to get the ear of someone important at MasterCard and Visa and things like that. And it probably does come from like the world of lobbying and religious lobbying, but I don't know for sure.
Well, I remember reading that there were some far right-wing Christo-nationalist, aka Christo-fascist groups that were providing access or money or something to this Australian group, and the Australian group was just the mouthpiece, right? Because that's how this shit works.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works.
You get someone who was willing. Here we go, Jeff. You get someone who is willing to be the voice for this, and you have all these cowards in the background who just throw the money because they know they'll do what they want them to do. This is the same thing that happened back when the FCC declared radio and television wasn't covered because some priest in Mississippi decided he didn't want to hear what was on the radio, and instead of just turning the fucking thing off, he decided that everybody else had to be like him. And it's no different than that.
And they use the same playbook over and over. It's about the kids.
Yeah,
protect the kids.
It's the same. Protect the kids. No, it's because you don't want to be inconvenienced and have to teach your kids if you don't want them to.
It's because they just got done jerking off to this stuff, and now they're ashamed about it, and they got to go make that everyone else's problem. It's always what it is. We know, we know what's going on here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
my thing is get the fuck out of here. Leave us alone, man. We're not messing with you. We're not messing with you. And the fact that anytime you go out and talk about how much Jesus you are, if you want to get into it, disobeying his words in the Bible themselves. I have receipts, people.
Bible's also a pretty nasty piece of literature. Also, if you're really splitting hairs about rape and fucking awful shit.
Yeah, the people who love to say that they're protecting kids and the minority or whatever the hell they call themselves,
moral majority,
can just fuck right off. Mind your own business. Let people do what they want to do in the privacy of their own. If they're not hurting anybody, if no one's being hurt and they are consenting adults to consenting to things on their own time with their own money. Leave them the fuck alone. That's my 2 cents on it. Sorry.
No, absolutely. Go off on a topic like this, Jason, because like that's the problem, is that they see people existing different from them, and they just can't allow that because that is in their mind twisted from what morality should be. And that's the way bigots always are. They see someone who is different from themselves and they say, this cannot be allowed to stand. And that is fucked up, because the hilarious thing in all of this is that these absolute morons on the internet have been whining and bitching about like censorship this, censorship that, when like, you know, a game gets localized in a way to like cover up an underage girl or something like that. But this is literal censorship. This is an outside force saying you can't have this thing because someone didn't like the way that was presented, or they're trying to force values on you. And I'm glad to see that people are getting loud and angry about this, because this is the kind of thing that we actually need to get loud and angry about. I know, you know, I'm often maybe even a little heavy-handed in saying, man, shut the fuck up and just enjoy video games. But like, this is the thing. This is the reason that I say, save your anger and your energy, because this is the thing we need to get loud, vocal, and angry about, because otherwise it's going to be a snowball effect. And, you know, first it's like, oh, we're just getting rid of the porn. And then it's like, oh, no, we're getting rid of the porn related to queer people. Then we're getting rid of queer people. And it's just, it all flows from that bigoted point of view.
That to me is obviously the troubling thing, is the slippery slope stuff, and just calling it out for what it is, and not this, you know, bullshit excuse up front of like, oh, we're doing this to try and avoid some kind of content. It's rough. It's wow, we're just following the dystopian playbook page by page,
over and over again.
Like we are like, we saw V for Vendetta and we're like, oh, let's do this part like right now.
Just that one part,
just, you know, it's insane. What a fucking nightmare.
These people just want to punish others because they see other people enjoying aspects of themselves that they hate about themselves. Like, this thing is inside me and I'm ashamed of it and I hate it, and they see it in other people and they're celebrating, they're prideful about it, and they want to punish them. And it's sick, and we gotta stop it here, because it will just keep continuing if we don't. Sony sues Tencent, claiming its Light of Motorem game is a slavish clone of its Horizon series. And I don't know. Let me just take a look at this thing. Oh my God, that's just Horizon. This is one of another instance of this, but this one feels even more egregious than a lot of the other instances of this. So much so that Sony said that a couple years ago in 2023, Tencent began developing the Light of Motorem, and then came to Sony and said, hey, can we license Horizon? Because we're already making a Horizon game. Would you mind if we just borrowed the IP for a bit? And Sony said no. Tencent kept making the game, and now they're promoting it. And if you look at it, it's just the red-haired lady from Horizon standing on.
Not even funny.
It's honestly, it's so not funny that it's hilarious. It's crazy.
I remember the Game Mess mornings where you like first talked about this story like a while back, and it was either you or the host, Grubb, was just like, I saw this on a timeline this morning and thought a new Horizon got announced.
It's nuts.
Show me the sketch of this where it's like, oh, what? They've got animal mech walkers too? They call them mech animals.
Animals. All right, you know what? That's not bad.
The only thing this game is missing is that the name Light of Motorem, or whatever the name is, isn't an anagram of Horizon Zero Dawn. That's the only thing that would make this better, if they just rearrange the letters to make a different name. Like, what do they think? Do they think we're dumb?
Yes.
Do they think we don't have?
Yes.
I guess they do.
Well, I mean, it's China don't care. It's China
right?
Like,
they really don't mind.
And I was sort of on the fence, like, because people say that derivative games sometimes become their own thing, and I was like, yeah, but this is, even in that first image, this is very, very close. And then we find out that they actually pitched it. We're told no, and we're like, F you, we're going to do it anyway. Come on, guys, what are we doing here?
This isn't even like Pal World, where at least Pal World had its own like gameplay style and everything they were going for, even if they were rip-off designs. No, this is Croc and Yoshi, the urban legend of that all over again, man. They're just like, hey, well, if we pitch this, no, we'll make our own with blackjack and hookers, you know?
This is why, I mean, they didn't even choose a different color palette.
No.
They didn't.
No.
This is egregious.
The key
in a
art
way.
just looks like literal. VG or VG 24/7 has if you like Google image search for Light of Motoram, and you scroll down a little bit, there's comparisons between the two key arts that are just like beat for beat exactly the same.
It's
bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I get being inspired by something, but you got to change it, or else the teacher's going to know you copied the homework, bro. It is real obvious here. I mean, so what does the suit result in? I don't know. I mean, I think any jury, any judge is going to look at this and go, clearly they copied you. Did they copy you in an illegal way? It's going to be different by country. So I'm not sure what the result will be here. I bet that they do find some way to come to a conclusion, and maybe this game gets canceled or is forced to legally change a certain percentage of how it presents. But I don't know. I'm also like at a certain point, like it's embarrassing. Like I would never want to be someone who did this myself. But if this thing existed, I don't know how much of a real threat it is to Horizon. Although I say that, and then maybe 2 years from now, it becomes one of the biggest games in the world. The way that what is the MiHoYo game, Sean? The one that was a little bit like Breath of the Wild.
Genshin Impact.
It's like,
and that's the thing is that this, regardless of what this game is, unless it is a $60 game they're releasing on Steam, which I'd imagine it's not. I'd imagine some free to play, costume driven, gacha driven something. They were never going to exist in the same worlds. It's just you can't rip off the art in that way, and so it's definitely like you said. Some judge somewhere is gonna have to be like, all right, you guys need to sell this. Here's the percentage I'm tossing out there of what you need to change.
Yes. As someone, okay. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jason.
As someone points out in chat, this will be the Mobile Legends Bang Bang to Horizon Zero Dawn's League of Legends. Mm-hmm. That is a perfect analogy.
Yes, exactly.
When they went to Sony in, what was it? 2024 or 3.
Oh, no, 2024, yes, is when they went to Sony.
Sony was like, no, and also don't do that. Like, did they say that?
I would assume they probably did. Yeah,
I hope so.
Don't do this. While we have you on the phone,
while we have you on the phone, cease and desist. Like, what are we? I don't understand. Like, how did that back and forth end?
I mean, it probably because it probably is like one side of the call is like, hey, we're not going to give you the license. And then they just assumed it would be understood at that point. So now you can't make this game that you've showed us. You are not allowed to do that anymore. And maybe Tencent's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And hangs up. It's like, we're going to do this anyhow. It probably went like that, which is another wild aspect of this. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I kind of want to see what it plays like. I don't know if there's been video out there or anything like that, but yeah.
I haven't. That cease and desist doesn't bother me because I can't read it. I'm just going to do it myself.
All right. Atari has agreed to acquire Thunderful for around 4.5 million euro.
Oh, wow.
Which is about $5 million. The deal is subject to shareholder approval with a vote scheduled for late August. This expands Atari's European publishing and development capabilities. Thunderful is known for SteamWorld, but they've also published a bunch of games. They did that Viewfinder game that someone else made. They helped publish that.
Very cool game. Yep.
Right. That is a company, Thunderful, has had a lot of successful games, but they've also hit a rough patch recently. I think they had a bunch of layoffs. A fifth of their staff was laid off after what they called overinvestment. They did the thing everyone else did. Had a bunch of money, a bunch of cheap money out of the pandemic, and then ended up investing a ton of that, and not many of those bets hit. And now here they are. 5 million does feel a little bit low for
that's what I was going to say.
A kind of a decent sized publisher. I think things are probably pretty rough there.
And they also do that game from the Playdead person.
Oh, I don't remember.
Called Somerville.
Oh, I don't. That doesn't ring a bell.
No, I'm sorry. In 2022, they acquired Jumpship, the creator.
Who did? Okay, yeah. My thing about this is, I'm hoping Atari is practicing a little bit of. They're holding themselves back a little bit here and not embracing old trends. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that. Yeah, but go ahead.
Right. That's an extreme case, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like every couple of months in a certain cadence, we hear about one of these acquisitions, Digital Eclipse and Night Dive being the more recent ones. And I would hate for Atari to be the next test case of acquisitions and mergers going berserk like we had in that situation. Granted, 4.5 million euros, $5.19 million, not a huge investment, but I don't know. Ever since Embracer, I hear M&A. One company doing a lot of acquisitions, and I start to get antsy. So I just hope that they have it all figured out.
Yeah, it's and I should point out Atari acquired 82% of the Thunderful group. Actually, not the entirety of it, but you're right. I do think that like I could see the strategy still with Atari, right? Where with Embracer when they were making all those acquisitions, we were all like, why? What are you doing with all this? This is a lot of stuff. What's the plan? Hey, Wingefers, what's the name of the CEO? His last name?
Lars Wingefers?
Lars Wingefers. Can I have an interview so I can ask you the question, why are you doing this? And he never responded. Never got an answer. They never, ever wanted to let me interview that guy. I think in this case, like Night Dive, limited run games, they also acquired them, right? Is that right? Or maybe I mixed that up. They definitely acquired Night Dive. Like they have a retro.
Limited run is Embracer.
Okay, that's right. That was Embracer. Like for Atari, like their stated goal for the last couple of years was like we are going to really play in the retro throwback space, and so a Night Dive acquisition made a lot of sense. Then being like, okay, now we're acquiring Thunderful to help us with our publishing in Europe. It's like, okay, that just feels like a natural extension of what they're already doing. I think if it continues, if it snowballs, it starts going in a direction where I can't even begin to fathom the reason why they made the acquisition, I would worry. But for now, I'm like, okay, this still feels like an Atari that has an idea of what it wants to be, and it's just trying to execute on that. But we'll see. Okay. Last handful of stories here. Following Suicide Squad's flop, Warner Brothers is hiring for another live service game. Warner Brothers Games is hiring for a new live service game despite the commercial and critical failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The job listing for an executive producer role specifies leading the development of a high-quality AAA game based on one of its iconic IPs from the vast Warner Brothers and DC Comics catalog, with the role including overseeing all phases of development from concept to post-launch live operations. This suggests a continued push for live service, although, it could be on anywhere on a spectrum of various live service capabilities for any game. So maybe it's not a full-on Suicide Squad. It could be something smaller that has live service elements to it. I say that to be like, oh, maybe they're not going all in on another one of these. But I think after Harry Potter did really well, that Hogwarts Legacy, they were talking in like earnings calls about how the next Harry Potter game needs to be live service after Hogwarts Legacy made like all the money in the world. So even when they have a massive success, they were still like eyeing over there, like we still want to just be doing live service. This feels like it's part of that, where they're like, we are just going to keep going in that space. But I ask you guys, like, what thing do they have that would be a good fit for this? Or does that just not fit for how you guys want to play games anyhow, so you don't have a good answer?
An idea. How about they make a free-to-play platform fighter with a bunch of their IPs and an all-star cast in a genre that the big one went away, Smash Brothers, so they could just go right in and fill that vacuum.
That's a genius.
And everything would be great. You could have
a good idea, Jason.
Characters from DC Comics and Scooby-Doo and all of the other WB franchises that you don't even think about. Hey, that basketball player was in Space Jam. Maybe LeBron James. What's he doing? What's he doing?
Inspired, dude.
Maybe he could do that. I don't know. Maybe I should give Haddad and Zaslav a call and see if they would be open to this idea.
I bet they're going to love this idea.
Exactly what they were looking for. Sorry.
What the hell are they looking for? Like, do they not know that live service can be things like multiverses? That is, we just trickle out a little bit of content. We reap easy, a couple million every, like month or two. What do they think it needs to be is kind of why I'm wondering. Are they looking at old examples like MMOs, like World of Warcraft or something? Are they looking at Fortnite? I'd assume they're looking at Fortnite. But it's like, Fortnite. That's what multiverses was. So I'm not sure what the hell they're looking for here.
They just want make money now. They want line go up, and they're going to throw ideas and, more importantly, people at the wall until something or someone or whatever sticks, and it's infuriating.
Well, you'll get money from me if you take all of the legacy Adult Swim properties and smash them up into a live service. Figure out a way for me to like Space Ghost and Aqua Teen with a Brack and Harvey Birdman, and I'll
Nathan Explosion. I'm in.
Right, like give me. I'll figure that out, and I'll give you a couple dollars.
Sure.
I would love to see that. I think the things we're talking about, it's like, stuff I would like to see. I don't know if Warner Brothers is interested in any of this, and them trying to make like the online live service Hogwarts Legacy game. I bet that is not going to be what those people who bought that game want. And
nope.
I was just thinking, remember Harry Potter Wizards Unite by any chance?
That's right. Yeah, Jesus.
When they're like, hey, Pokemon Go, that's a big thing. Let's make Harry Potter Pokemon Go, and just nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
So
the Pikmin Bloom game lasted longer than that Harry Potter one, but it's also probably a cheaper license. So
Bloom's also still going, isn't it?
Yes, it still gets updates all the time. Yeah.
Don't they own Lord of the Rings? They own Lord of the Rings too, right?
No. The Lord of the Rings was owned by Embracer Group. Embracer.
I thought Warner Brothers.
Embracer. That's right. Yeah.
Embracer.
Did Amazon buy it?
They might have bought it from them. They might have bought it from them. Yeah, I can't remember.
But that has an MMO already. Lord of the Rings Online, which is still going strong after 20 years, maybe more.
That was my first thought. Is like they could do something like DC Universe Online, but then I'm like, the era of making an MMO like that, like it was more sustainable when like graphics could be lower fidelity and everything like that. So I don't know if that's something that they'll want to do anymore.
All right, enough of that. I got the Fight Boys here. So you guys tell me about the Flex Strike from PlayStation. It is their fight stick coming in 2026. Don't think we got a price, right?
Nope.
But people are going to be able to go hands on with this thing at Evo, correct?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
No.
If you read the blog, it says that the only place it's going to be at Evo is at the end of their museum in a case. So you can look at it, and you can look at the carrying case that comes with it. If you read the PlayStation, unless I read that wrong, just going to be in the display case. If you're not familiar with Evo, they have a museum section which is half artwork from famous fighting game related artists and half fight sticks through the years, and it's just case after case of old fight sticks. Old arcade panels and stuff like that. And apparently the end of this is going to be this Flex Strike with a little preview coming in 2026, what have you. Unless I read that
also makes
wrong.
so much sense. That also makes so much sense because like the museum is basically Mark Man's closet, and he's working on the Flex Strike or consulting on it. So it makes sense that it's Evo, it's Sony, it's Mark, and everything. Like it makes sense for it to be there at least.
Yeah,
I hope they at least have like a demo station with prototype. Maybe it's not prototype ready. Maybe it's a little further out than we think.
We've only seen
2026,
right? We saw the render in the trailer for that thing. That's all.
Maybe they literally just have a shell ready to go, and that's why it's going in the museum. But we can't go hands on when like people are playing Tokon and stuff.
Right. I think this is going to launch day and date with Marvel Tokon. I really do.
100%.
I think the two of them are going to count. Maybe even in one scenario bundled together where the Flex Strike has special Marvel Token designs on it, something like that. Kind of like how the Razor Kitsune had the Kami one, where if you get it together, it didn't come with the game. The Razor didn't, but in this case, if you buy them together, the stick will have special artwork. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I think it looks cool.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's the first wireless one, right? People were wondering why PlayStation wasn't
in a long time.
There was a comment somebody made. Well, this is why PlayStation wasn't letting third parties make wireless sticks, because they're making it. I think it looks really neat. I think it's really cool that you can just, on the back of it, there are three pieces. One is for circular, one is for square, and one is for octagon movement. And you can just snap them in and out as you please.
That's cool.
Whatever's most comfortable for you.
Yeah, that's the thing that's been on like consumer grade arcade sticks, fight sticks for a long time now. But it's always been something where even the ones that do easily open up, you have to like take off the gate because it's like an arcade style gate. This is like it looks like a much easier, just a small piece that you snap on and off to make it whatever shape you want the stick to move in, which different shapes are better for different games and different play styles. Like a circle gate, for example, you can imagine is good for grapplers where you need to do 360 sweeping motions very quickly and stuff. Yeah, that's what they're going for there. It is weird that even this needs the PlayStation Link adapter, just like their headphones do and everything like that. It's weird that it's not just using the proprietary Sony
can you remind
Bluetooth.
Me, what is the Link adapter? I can't place that.
It's all of their wireless things except for a DualSense is a USB dongle you need to plug in. So like which makes sense on PC, of course.
Yeah.
But no, you need to use it for this as well. Like at the very least, they show that, well, you can also use it with other things. You can connect two flex strikes to one adapter. You can keep using your PlayStation headset with the adapter as well. It's so weird that doesn't just work over Bluetooth or whatever proprietary Bluetooth that they have, or whatever. At least
totally
an
fine
option
for controller data. Like there's no worry there.
Right.
Yeah,
which is what the DualSense operates
bad
on.
For audio, but not for like because controller data is so small. It's never been a problem with Bluetooth. Well,
I wonder if the PlayStation Link connection, this is probably not the case, but I wonder if PlayStation has figured out a latency issue, because if there's one genre of video game fan that is worried about latency and frame drops, it's fighting game fans. So if they figured out a way that the PlayStation Link has less,
and that's radio.
I actually don't know.
Well, 2.4. It's 2.4 gigahertz.
Yeah,
it's just like how. Because 2.4 gigahertz, that's what Bluetooth technically is. But like Xbox has their own proprietary 2.4 signal.
Got it.
That's what they do with PlayStation Link as well. And to be clear, you can also use it wired. Yes,
USB-C. Yeah.
Which is how people use that tournament. I think there is a tournament lock on it, like all modern fighting peripherals and stuff. I am really curious though, because the wireless is definitely be a boon for like the more casual fighting game player. Fighting game fans know what they want, though, like Jason was getting at, especially people who use fight sticks, because people don't use fight sticks anymore. When this got revealed, I was surprised there was not also a leverless option, because that's what's hot right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this does decently well if they also do that.
Yeah.
But like people who play on sticks are people who played in the arcade back in the day, or learned when the fighting game community was like, this is the way to play fighting games, in the early 2010s. They're not really getting new players with this. So I'm curious to see how well this does, because people either have the option that they like, or they have like custom built something that they like. It'll be difficult to get this out there and capture a new audience, but maybe they can get enough people who like the convenience of this at least.
I think there is a not huge, but significant, and I'm using that word like squishily, of overlap between fighting game fans and PlayStation sickos, and they'll be the ones that go for this.
Because PlayStation is the place to play fighting games now. Yes. Japanese games releasing only on there. They bought Evo, and we haven't seen a ton of them doing stuff with the Evo brand. They have the PlayStation tournament stuff. That was kind of part of all that. This feels like more of them actually leaning into it, alongside Tokon being a first party Arc System Works Marvel fighting, and God, I'm getting excited just saying those words together.
Isn't it great? Isn't it just wonderful?
It's so great, Jason.
Pour some cold water on yourself, Jesus.
You're outnumbered, Grubb. Jeff doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't care, but I am intrigued. So leverless is like a fight stick without a stick.
I got you.
You're gonna love this shit.
Okay, for audio listeners, everyone just left the call
because we all got one. Mine's way over there.
Leverless.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is a leverless fight stick. Yeah. So these 4 buttons are your directions. Oh. And then your attacks are here.
Yeah. It's without lever. You see, that's where the leverless comes from.
And you hold it.
The lore of the leverless controller is that keyboard players wanted a controller to play on.
Yep.
So it's a keyboard, but with arcade buttons.
Yep. A lot of people learn to play like Street Fighter on a keyboard, and they like discovered some benefits to that. Yeah.
Makes me ill.
It rules. Oh, it's so good.
It's so great because it's just ASD spacebar, which is just so much more accurate than even like a D-pad or anything like that. It's awesome.
If you saw the mess I made in this basement running to get that, or bending over, getting that off the bottom.
I just knocked down another controller because this cord was still attached and I didn't realize that.
I mean, the both of you just like puffed out of frame.
Did you say you didn't know something? Wait a second.
I got one. All right, last story here. Lego Game Boy finally revealed after months of leaks. It's going to be $60, 421 pieces. It's coming October 1st, and it looks adorable. I already pre-ordered mine. It comes with cartridges for Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and what else? Yeah, Super Mario Land that you could sort of display next to it. And then also has like little plates you can slide into the Game Boy to make it look like you're playing Link's Awakening. And it's actually the beach cutscene from Link's Awakening, which is one of my favorite things ever as a kid. So I was immediately I got to get this thing.
So it's got an actual. The screen is real.
The screen is not real. It is. It's
like a lenticular.
Yes. So it is just like static scenes that you can slide in. I believe is how it's going to work. I kind of looked at it. Was just like, that looks amazing. I didn't really look to figure out how exactly it's going to function. But it's. I don't.
Yeah, it's just pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be as robust as like the NES, which had the TV, which you could like spin a dial and like a scene would go by.
The carousel.
Yeah, the carousel.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It's not going to be like that, but.
This is really cute. I saw this morning as well. I think this is where I draw the line, though, of like the Nintendo Lego stuff that I'm going to own and build.
Which side of the line is this on?
This is on the side that I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I've heard the line has been met with the NES and the and the TV. That's all one package.
Yeah,
right?
That's one package. Yeah, there's some other Mario stuff. They did some other consoles, right?
They did like a world map one that out of a question box. That's
the Mario 64 one that Mike and his brothers got me for my birthday one year. Yeah, I couldn't justify getting the NES one. I regret it. I wish. Oh, there was an Atari one, right?
I don't know.
I think that was the first one, Atari or.
Yeah, sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, the slow scenes are lenticulars because I saw like they have the Nintendo logo dropping down as you like cool. Rotate.
That's fantastic.
Do the buttons work?
Probably not.
Good question, actually.
Because they don't work on the NES, the controllers, obviously.
I'm not sure.
The reason I'm on the side of I actually might get this is because it's only $60.
Yeah, that was an impulse purchase price. Yeah.
Yeah, it's small. You put it in a little stand and you're good.
Exactly.
I believe it's 1-to-1. Yeah, he's holding it. It looks like it's 1-to-1.
They said it's just like a fraction smaller, like a very small percentage smaller than the original Game Boy. It's very close to 1-to-1.
The buttons do move according to chat.
Wow, okay.
Interesting.
I'm excited about this thing.
This is detailed for $60, so I'm like, just to put on the desk, I think that's a cute little thing.
Yep.
This is okay.
Well,
maybe that line.
Got him.
What's it going back on that side? Okay.
It's like the New York Times needle. It's wavering.
It's completely unreliable is what you're saying. I got you.
Completely unreliable and unpredictable. Yeah. Based on seemingly nothing. Yeah.
So Super Nintendo, would you get one of those? And like, I don't know.
No. Yeah. I don't have the fondness for a Super NES as I do for NES.
I think the one I would for sure get, I think, is the N64, just because I think that's a weird looking console, and I want to see how they do it.
A GameCube would be cool too, but what is it, like 11 pieces?
Yeah, that's right. It's a cube. Yeah, it's just a big Lego piece. Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it for the news. Jerf, I'm gonna hand the show back over to you.
I will take it from you with my hands and I will place it on this shelf as we dip out for one more break before we hit up emails and super chats on the other side of this break. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the Giant Bombcast. It is that portion of the program where we look to you for emails. That's right. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Emails.
That's the email address. We'll get to these. We'll do some super chats after this, and we'll be on our way, folks. All right, let's get to the first email. Neil from Philly says, so I've been playing Bananza and loving it, but I couldn't help but think about what this studio does next. I fully expect them to do Mario next, and best case, it'll be in the next 3 years, assuming DK was mostly done for years. But what then are now a 3D Mario and DK studio swapping back and forth? Then we get the Bethesda studio issue of 2 franchises that we only see once every 12 years or so. Now that they established a new formula for DK, do they give it to another studio and focus on Mario, or maybe reinvent another franchise? My hope would be to see what they could do for a 3D Yoshi. Ooh. Neil, you're all over the place. What do you think will happen, or what do you want them to do?
Yeah, when we were talking about DK earlier, I was like, what do you guys want the studio to do next? But we had gone long, so I'm glad we had this email. I don't know. I think ideally they'd be able to do both and do them quickly, right? In a perfect world, they can handle both of these things and get one out every 3 years. Hooray. That's not going to be possible or likely. So I think the next thing they do is go back to Mario. This is the 3D Mario team. They will go back to Mario. What they do after that, do they try to come back to DK? I don't know. Do you guys get the sense that now that DK is established, they're like, okay, expect this to be a going thing as we move forward? Because I don't necessarily feel that way.
I don't see why their next game couldn't be both.
Oh yeah,
a Mario DK joint adventure. You've connected those. You've connected those franchises now in some things. So I don't see why Mario and DK are up for a nice thing. It's been connected for a long time now versus Donkey Kong, stuff like that. So yeah, I think let's see what the studio can do with both of them. Maybe a co-op adventure, co-op platformer. Let's look at that.
I want to see it.
I would be happy to see that. I feel like unfortunately that won't happen. But I mean, a part of me, I don't really like. I like Nintendo stuff. I want to play Mario games, but like, yeah, I am curious. Like when that next 3D Mario, like what the timeline is on that. I think there is a bit of a sand that runs out of the Nintendo hourglass with Mario, where like you have to fill that shit back up at some point. You can't let it run out too far before it goes away. And I think, some of that moves maybe replenished with Wonder, but certainly not in the 3D fashion. So like, I don't know. Grubb, you probably have the best insight to speak to this.
I mean, that's why I do think a Mario game probably is going to come from them soon. It's just too popular, right? It's too, it's too crucial to everything they're doing now. Like it is load bearing in terms of like the structure of like how they've built the company and with movies and theme parks as well. So certainly a 3D Mario is going to come from this company one way or the other in the next couple of years. But then, I still wonder, it's like, okay, do they then jump back to DK after that? Do they try to do what they did with DK to another character like Yoshi? I could see that, but I don't know. It is going to, like, that next project will at that point take so long. Because I think we all are assuming that maybe they've had time to work on a 3D Mario while DK was in the polishing phase for an extremely long amount of time. But I don't know. I think after Mario, it's all up in the air. It's a big question mark.
Is it possible a different team makes the next Mario?
Not the 3D Mario.
3D Mario, no way.
No, but it's possible that they, when they're making DK and they're working with a bunch of teams, there are some other teams in the credits there, I think. Maybe they talk about, hey, we're building up this technology and you can take it and now go make your own Yoshi game. That could be happening. But no, this is
Kirby.
The team. Kirby, yes, a Kirby game for sure. Yeah, you could see how that would work. This is the team that will make the 3D Mario game, though, for sure.
Yeah, it would need to be either they hand off the duty of making 3D Mario to, like, this is the new Mario studio with people from, was this EPD 8? Like, we got some people to, like, pave the way for the next generation to then be the Mario studio. Like, they could do that, but otherwise, this is the studio that's making the next Mario, because that's how it's been since Galaxy, I believe. So that's what they do. I think it's more likely that the next DK game, or like Rob was saying, anything else that they do, that gets handed off to someone else, because that's the kind of thing that another team could take. And maybe it doesn't necessarily have the spit shine polish that EPD8 puts on the 3D Marios and now Bonanza, but like they can get away with that because it's a different format. It's a little newer. I think we're assuming, there's been a lot of conspiracy theory about like the team making this game and everything like that. I think we are all assuming a lot of things on this right now. I'm curious to see what happens next, because it got transitioned from Switch 1 to Switch 2. So we know that like at a certain point, there is a little bit of like leeway there, where when you transition a project from one platform to the other, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, the waste between Mario Odyssey and DK Bonanza is big, but if they're continuing work for Switch 2, it doesn't need to be as big. And I'm thinking, like, even if the next big game from them is still quite a ways off, like, how long is too long is what I want to know from you guys. Because, like, I think about Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, and like that doesn't in my head, maybe it's just because they're both Switch 1. It doesn't feel like that long, but it was almost the entire like console generation. It was 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
Yeah. But I think there is a built-in expectation for a Zelda to be that because those games are so massive. I think each franchise has its own sort of like timeline space, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, they don't want to go too long without a 3D Mario on the console for sure. So what would be too long? I mean, I think if they get like 2 years removed from that next movie, the next Mario movie, that's way too long. Because that's just a ton of money left on the table, and they don't want to do that. So
ideally, you have everything pop off within like 3 months of each other. You know, like. Yep. So
when is that Mario movie?
Is it next year?
I think it's 26. Yeah,
26 or 27. I can't remember.
Who's to say? Okay. What are years?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
April 3rd, 2026. It is next year. So yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, we'll see.
I'm looking at EPD8's like wiki page now, and it does seem like, as time moves on, they are just getting further and further big gaps between the mainline Marios that they make. Because like Galaxy to Galaxy 2 was 3 years, and then like Galaxy 2 to 3D World was 3 years, and then 3D World to Odyssey was 4 years. Seems like the gap is kind of just widening as they're getting a little more ambitious with the things that they want to pull off.
They're testing stuff, yeah.
Right, and they're still putting out games with the support of other Nintendo studios, but it does feel like maybe we do just have to wait a while for the next big 3D Mario. I know that it feels like that is an essential thing they need to put out. Maybe we just get something smaller or easier to put out, like a 2D Mario, or Odyssey 2 is just Odyssey 2 because that'd be easier to make. I'm curious.
I gotta say, like, now that Bananza is like so Odyssey kind of coded, like I feel like an Odyssey 2 I would be a bit let down.
I don't think they do an Odyssey 2. I think it's been too long. If they do something that is still connected to this, it's in a whole other direction. And maybe continue some stuff. But I just don't think they would do an Odyssey 2 at this point. Then
that would be kind of a ways out then, wouldn't it, if they're doing something fresh?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. So, I mean, the reason that the conspiracy theories are out there is, they did hire a new director to oversee Bonanza. So, maybe there is someone else and we're still working on Mario. That this people kind of, I think, coping.
I think that's easy. The cope is definitely there for sure, but I do think it's easy because there have been pretty cataclysmic surprises in that capacity where it's like it's not completely out of the realm of possibility, right? I mean,
no, we'll see. I just I think for Nintendo, they look at it as Mario is so crucially important that they want to get it right, so it could still take some time. But I think this is a company that feels really obsessed with timing things out right now. The DK game launching between DK getting introduced in the Mario movie with that new design, and as the Universal Studios thing is opening right around that same time, and as that movie's about to come out, none of that's coincidence. That's all them planning it out. And I think they will have a similar thing with that next Mario movie and do it as best as they possibly can, with the realities of game development still taken into consideration there.
Now, Chet does point out this year is the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
You think they plan something out? Because 40 does have, a bigger ring than 35, but
that just clears the way for Mario's time machine too. Come on, guys.
There you go.
That's what the world really wants.
Yeah, it's just like, he's just getting his prostate checked now. That's it.
I'm looking back.
Simulator,
But 30th was Super Mario Maker. That was a huge deal, but it's also like
35 was the collection 3D All-Stars.
And Bowser's Fury.
Oh right, yeah. Man,
oh yeah.
Those are both like, in the grand scheme of things, smaller things.
Yep.
Maybe they do have something of that level for this year.
Bowser's Fury always gave me the sense that like that was going to be the next very big thing. And then they're like, we're close, but we're not quite there yet. So let's just scale this down and put it as an add-on as we get ready to make the next thing. And that's going to be DK Bananza, apparently. So we'll see.
All right. We'll see.
All right.
Let's go to the next email here. Steven Pasadena says, hey, gang, I've been playing a ton of Donkey Kong Bananza, and I wanted to share that thanks to you guys, whenever I pick up the liftoff ore that shoots you up into the sky, I reflexively yell, I'm going vertical every damn time. Thanks and congrats on independence. Cool and gross.
Yeah, that's how Mike Minotti gets his wings, and you don't want to see that. So,
ever since someone said they call something else going vertical, I can't think of that phrase the same way anymore.
It's always been filthy.
It's pretty good. I do think, like, of all the bullshittery, fuckery vernacular, going vertical,
it's a good one.
I think has
that's why it stuck with you.
Yeah, that's the one that seems the most important.
I like it.
Garrick from Los Angeles. Hey, duders. I still fantasize about using the GameCube controller concept that Nintendo showed but never released when the Wii was still the revolution. It's like you slide a Wiimote into the middle of a GameCube controller. Do you guys remember that, Jimmy Jam?
I kind of remember it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it goes on to say, what controller or game do you still dream about using even though you never will?
The controller would be the PlayStation 3 Boomerang.
Of course.
And the game would be Mega Man Legends 3.
Good answer. I
don't know. Is it on my screen? Hold on. Let me position myself. I don't know if you can see up there. That is signed by Keiji Inafune from New York Comic Con 2011. I want to say the Mega Man Legends 3 poster there. My God, what a relic that is. The Holy Grail.
Did you get him to apologize for Mighty Number 9 when he got the signature in there?
I don't know if that had been announced yet, but you know. I don't know. But yeah, it's that would be the two. That PS3 Boomerang control always fascinated me.
It looked like a double-ended dildo. Let's be real. That's what it looked like.
You saw what you wanted to see.
Yeah, how are you? Never mind. We don't need to get into that. Creatively.
I didn't want to like have it fuck anything or anything. But I was intrigued by its position, right? Like it was always this thing of like, wow, they're really going for it with this boomerang thing, and then that lasted it never saw the light of day.
Yeah, never. They were like the backlash was that's one of the first times that like an ugly Sonic backlash happened and kind of worked. Where I bet that boomerang controller would have been fine, but I bet the Dual Shock that they ended up coming out with was almost certainly better. Just a better controller.
Yeah, the 6-axis.
Six-axis, that's right.
I will say, as time does go on, the controllers they're really dialing them in a pretty. I mean, with a few gaps
Switch
here or
2
there.
Pro controller I really like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's got that heft that makes the haptics work even better. It's a good controller. My answer to this would be I'm not gonna say I fantasize about it, but the vitality sensor. I always wanted to see what dumb ideas Nintendo came up with for the vitalities. Yes, so the Wii add-on that they were announcing as like the Wii U was about to come out, and then everything just blew up in their faces, and they're like, "We're not doing that shit anymore." What are you talking about?
Was it like just heartbeat, or was it like also like blood oxygen?
I think it was just heartbeat, but there could have been more to it. I could try to double check, but
it was a whole clamp-on thing. Yeah, maybe it could have been more.
Yeah, you were supposed to use it after you were done playing Wii Fit, so they could fat shame you even more.
Yeah, boy, that game of fat shaming.
That I forgot about that. But if I could adapt to this question too, what old controllers would you like to see brought back? My answer to that would be the chainsaw controller.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 4, the PlayStation Bluetooth controller, which I actually got to use for the first time at Dan's house one time. So yeah.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I think Dan has a chainsaw as well. I should see about. Okay, I should see about.
Mike used it to play several hours of Mary Kate and Ashley's Sweet 16 party game for the GameCube.
As it was intended.
Yep.
Another thing I need to talk to Dan about maybe is I want to get us all doing this. I've mentioned it before, but Soul Calibur on Dreamcast has the Sega Bass fishing rod controller as like a supported peripheral.
Oh, that's
so you can actually swing your weapon using the damn fishing rod.
Oh, that's fun.
We need to do some matches of Soul Calibur. Use that stupid thing.
A part of me wants like a light gun experience again. Like I kind of just want.
Have you seen this thing? The game? What? G''AIME. It is a new tech that someone's developing to make light guns work on modern televisions. And it's like an all-in-one encompassing system. So I think it comes with the games, and I can't remember what it comes with. I think it might come with like Time Crisis. Yeah.
Look, I'm hopeful that the technology
This one sounds promising.
Here,
this one sounds promising.
But if they are as good as at naming products as they are, this technology, what are you doing
with the word aim in the middle?
What in the actual holy fuck are you doing naming this? Whatever this
rhymes
is
with aim, and so you just put aim in the middle of game, and you got the product, baby. No more discussion needed.
Next
is it pronounced
time,
Gamey or Jamie?
Literally ask one person. Just ask one person next time.
They did, and that person was other than Jason, a different
asshole.
Wheel of Fortune contestant. So
do you guys not know about the Sinden light gun?
I think I remember people talking about this, but what was this one?
It's a modern light gun where I believe it's just for emulating light gun games, but basically it puts, I believe it's because I don't have one, I believe it puts a white border around your entire screen, which is enough for the gun to like detect this is the frame of the game that you're playing, this is the boundaries, and then it can just whatever a driver you need to install or whatever. Yeah, you can just use a light gun on your flat screen now. But again, you're not bringing back like the CRT experience necessarily. You would have to do emulation, as far as I know. But still, that's pretty neat. I think they are putting out new light gun games that support the Sinden as well.
Yeah,
I think there is something about that I just kind of want. I don't know. I'm not like a huge gun game person, but there is like
it's weird because you're like the biggest gun guy I know. Like you're just huge.
I am.
2A stickers all over your house. Yeah.
Yeah, I got bare arms. Yeah, so that'd be sick. I did see a mouse that has basically like a pistol grip that has like firing action. So you basically like, it's basically just like a trigger and a grip that's a mouse, and you use that as like your silly FPS thing, which was very dumb. I'm still gonna go back to this. I said this a while ago. I don't know why mice don't have force feedback. Like I don't know why that's just not like a more of a common thing. There was one mouse that did have it that Vinny and I were like obsessed with for a while.
Yeah, what was that thing called? It was like $250 mouse or something.
It was called Swift.
Yeah, something. Did it also? It had like 6-axis motion tracking in it as well, right? You could like lift up the mouse and like tilt it left and right and shit.
Yes, you could lift it and then change modes by changing the angle of the mouse. It was dumb as hell. And
was that like a Swift Point?
Yes,
Z2?
Swift Point. Yeah. Oh, they have a 2?
There's I just Googled it. Swift Point Z2.
They were nice guys. We wound up working with them a little bit because they were just like, hey, you're the only. You sure are talking about us a lot. Like,
we found the right weirdos that would be into this thing.
They're like, you guys want to hang out or something?
You just want to be my friend? Yeah.
You guys want to party? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I couldn't remember if like the vibration also, I don't know if it worked in game. I think there was a way to like get it to do that.
Sure.
Anyway, I still don't understand why like
into it or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't understand why mice like give me that in a mouse. Give me in a mouse. I just want to feel that. I want to feel something. Make me feel something. All right. We've got a couple more here. Here we go. Okay, maybe I can partake in this conversation. Do you want me to read
this one? You could try to win it and try to do this.
Sure. I hope there's no answers there. Okay.
I've hidden them. Yes. All right. This is
great.
From Connor from Victoria, British Columbia. Hi, after listening to last week's episode and hearing the quiz about the original 6 NHL teams, which Jerf, I think the team was able to get one of those right. How many did they get?
Wait, for original 6?
Yeah. Were you on the episode last week? No, you were busy last week, right? Okay. So
yeah, I couldn't make it. Oh, I left early.
Right. So I knew them most, so I was like that they were able to get like one, I think, or
of the original 6.
And then I helped them out a little bit, and I think they got the rest except for Boston without much help, and they couldn't remember Boston Bruins.
I think original 6 is like the entry level hockey enthusiast question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this is a little bit different. So after hearing that, thought it would be fun to quiz the 2 hockey guys. Despite the name Original 6, they were not the original 6 teams. There was at the start only 4 teams. Fun side fact: the NHL was originally formed when 3 teams, part of the old league, hated one of the other team's owners and figured it was easier to leave and start a new league without them instead of trying to get them kicked out of the league. So thought it would be fun to see if you guys can guess the original 4 NHL teams are. Hint, the nation referred to in National Hockey League is Canada, not the United States. Further hint, one city has 2 names. Okay, so 2 different teams.
One city has 2 teams.
Two teams. Yes. Yeah, my bad. Okay, so what are the original 4 teams, Jerf? Or I guess, let's just start, say the cities. Because the names are different.
So Toronto, Montreal has to be them.
Yep. And then there's one other city. Because Montreal has 2 teams.
Ottawa.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Ottawa. And okay, so
there's 4 teams in those 3 cities?
Yes.
There's 4 teams in those 3 cities, and 2 of them have the same name as they still do today.
How many have the same?
2. 2 of the 4 have the same name.
100%. I'm 100% on Canadians. There's just no way.
Yep. They are the Habs.
And then
still
if
have the same name.
If there's the same name, then I would also think it's the Senators.
Yep, Ottawa Senators. That's right. Okay.
But then I'm lost.
I honestly don't. Even
the Toronto team you're saying has a different name.
Has a different name, and
the only thing I would guess with them, and I don't know this for sure, but I do know they have that like weird St. Patrick's Day jersey that they wear.
Right.
So I think it's like the St. Pat's was like something of them at some point.
That's an awesome guess. That is not right. I honestly am like confused about what this name even means. Okay, they're not going to get it. It's the Toronto Arenas.
Arenas?
The Toronto Arenas were a professional men's ice hockey team that played in the first 2 seasons of the NHL. It was operated by the owner of the Arena Gardens, the Toronto Arena Company. So they just called it the fucking Toronto Arenas? What are you talking about?
I mean, this was like 19...
Yeah,
who knows?
This is back before they had creativity. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, this... or is it... Yeah, it's probably like 1914 or something.
It's 1917, yep.
Yeah.
But they had their colors, blue and white. So
that's cool.
What
was the 4th?
The 4th is another Montreal team, the Montreal Wanderers, which I like. That's a good name. Good name. Montreal Wanderers. They were an amateur and later professional ice hockey team based in Montreal. The team played in the Federal Amateur Hockey League, the Eastern Canadian Amateur, blah, blah, blah. And then they played in the original NHL, I guess the NHA, and then the NHL. The Wanderers were 4-time Stanley Cup winners. Prior to the formation of the NHL, the Red Bands were one of the most successful teams in ice hockey.
Yeah, when you have a 1 out of 4 shot, your odds get a lot better.
And I was looking it up because I'm like, well, I know the Stanley Cup's been around longer than the NHL. How did it work? It's like occasionally they just be like, here, there's 2 teams. You're both going to play for the Stanley Cup, and that's how it worked. So you had like a 50-50 shot.
So I just looked it up. The St. Patrick's were a team.
Oh, yeah. That's
from 1919 to 1920.
Okay.
And beyond. I'm sorry, and beyond. Up until 26, maybe even beyond. And because after that league, after those 4 teams, it went the Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa Senators, Quebec Bulldogs, and the Toronto St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hockey's an old sport, all things considered.
You watch the Blackberry movie, where the storyline of the CEO trying to bring the Penguins to Hamilton, Ontario.
Amazing.
That'd be an insane thing. I would have been like,
what a timeline that would have been.
Yep. All right. I think that does it for that quiz. Back to you, Bakalar.
All right. Very good. Thank you, emailer. Finally, Dalton from the internet. Hello, Bomb Crew. Love you all. Proud of you all. Well, thanks. We're proud of you, too. What is a video game complaint you're just tired of hearing from its fan base? Mine is, I am so tired of hearing people talk about Final Fantasy going back to turn-based. Final Fantasy hasn't been turn-based in 25 years, guys. Let it go. It has not been turn-based longer than it was turn-based. The last turn-based Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy X on the PS2. Square Enix has other turn-based games. Dragon Quest, Bravely Default, Octopath. Come on!
But I was going to ask, I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
I know people want to forget about 13.
Dalton's
but
wrong. Dalton's wrong.
No, okay, so 13, I think people are like, well, it's not traditional turn-based. But that's not what people mean. They would be happy with 13 when they say turn-based.
Right, exactly. This person, I think, is either confused or is specifically saying, like, traditional Dragon Quest style turn-based is not what Final Fantasy
I think that's
is
what a lot of people hear when they hear that.
But also, Final Fantasy hasn't been that since 3. Like when was ATV introduced? In 4?
Yeah, with
that's true.
4, something like that. Yeah. So also, it's just I think for that people are just saying they want menu driven like combat. That's because like no one really is complaining about the combat in Final Fantasy VII remake. Really, they're just like, this is close enough to what we're asking for.
Like the best part of the game.
Yeah. I think they're just like saying we don't want them to go full action. It didn't work. It just didn't work for that franchise. But okay, so what's the question is complaints that you guys are sick of hearing about?
From their fan base. What is a video game complaint you're just tired of hearing from its fan base? The answer is all of them. All of them.
That was going to be my other answer. Yeah, I already mentioned once on this podcast. Stop being mad about video games, for fuck's sake.
This is less a complaint and just something I hear all the time. I think people, like, whenever, talking to people, mostly strangers who, find out what I do, and then it's just this whole fucking thing, and I just, I can't. But it always devolves into, like, I don't play video games anymore because there's too many buttons. And I'm just like, well, your brain stopped working at some point then. Because, like, I don't know what to tell you. What do you mean there's too many buttons? What does that even mean? You're an adult person who's able to do all kinds. Have you been in a vehicle
does
in
your
the
car
last
have
10
too
years?
many buttons? Honestly, they probably are overwhelmed by that too.
This is what flummoxes you. You're like, well, I can't do it. The controller think he has. It's like, I'm sorry, you're brain dead. So, like, the Super NES controller had a lot of buttons for its time. There's not that many more.
What's the what's the old controller that had like a full number pad? There was a couple of them. Was it Jaguar? Was it I know.
Intellivision.
Intellivision definitely had like the phone pad on there, like that.
Oh yeah. The Jaguar did have it. Had a controller, and it was like an amorphic blob because then beneath that was also the keypad.
Yeah, and it's that's crazy.
It drives me so insane, and I guess like you hear it once or twice, and you're like, oh, that's just the complaint. But this is a common thing that everyone has like met about and agreed on saying this. They were like, we're going to use this excuse for the video game barrier.
And it's just like, it's not even true. Cause if you started playing, you would just immediately like, oh, this button does that. And it just feels intuitive. It has been fun.
Dumb.
It's been fun watching the kids who are young children get used to dual analog stick control from playing a lot of Minecraft. It's like, oh, they got this crushed now. This is just never going to be a problem for them again for the rest of their lives. They're going to be able to do dual stick movement in video games where they're controlling the character with one and the camera with the other, whether that's first person or third person. And it's like, okay, well, that kind of sorted itself out. I was worried about that. That'd be too much for them. Like, nope, 6, 8, they got it. No issue. And if a 6 and 8 year old can do it, and I know the plasticity of the brain and all that stuff, you could pick up a controller and figure it out. I get it's intimidating. Of course
they could.
But I agree.
Like that excuse doesn't make you interesting. Also, like,
it is the I don't even own a TV of video game complaints. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And it's just like, just try. I dare you. I defy you to just try. It's okay. If you don't want to play games, that's a whole other different story. But don't tell me it's because there's too many buttons on it. Get out of here. I mean, have you not seen Pedro Pascal pick up a controller and attempt to play Marvel Rivals in a way where it's so obvious? It's been like decades since my man ever looked at a video game. Have a fraction of the bravery that Pedro has. Just have a fraction of it.
For a lot of things, yes.
For a lot of things, 100%. But also in the realm of games, be more like Pedro.
Did you guys see that the cast of Fantastic Four reacting to Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. Okay, right.
Well, they were playing with.
They're playing it.
Yeah.
But, like, did you see like the reaction when they noticed the characters and how sexy they were? Like how sexy dressed.
Oh, I didn't notice that part. Why is that relevant?
There's a moment where I think the lady who's playing, I can't remember her name. She's like
Vanessa Kirby.
Yes, Vanessa Kirby is like selecting characters. And it like they're showing off the different costumes for the Invisible Woman, and one of them is like straight up lingerie, and it happens, and all 3 of the guys are over her shoulder, and they like sort of like are aghast. They're like, oh my god, is this? They start like looking around at each other and like, is this allowed? Are we like, should we be doing it? And it's like so genuine that they are so shocked. It's incredible. Dudes rock moment for sure.
Interesting element.
If I have a legitimate complaint, I know earlier I said all of them, but honestly, people who get all up in arms, like purists about crossovers, I love crossovers. I think it's really guest characters and stuff like that. It brings more people in. If they don't stick around, that's one thing. One guy likes that it'll get that when they lose the license, it'll get the game delisted. But I haven't really seen that. I don't know if that's a real thing. Just let the guest characters happen. Well, let them come, let them hang out, and that's it. Am I forgetting something? Am I missing something?
Mortal Kombat 9 isn't available anymore, unfortunately. So I see the concern.
I'm just blinders on there. But I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I always wanted to play Tekken. I just wasn't vibing with it for a very long time. With Tekken 7, my friend wanted me to play with him. I was just like, I don't get Tekken. This was before I learned other characters. I don't get Tekken. I don't really have a character that appeals to me just yet. I played Akuma because I was like, well, I know how to play Akuma because I play Street Fighter. It wasn't until Noctis where I was like, I love 15. So yeah, I'm playing my boy Noctis. Got me into Tekken. Playing with my friend got me into learning the game. Now I play Lily in 8 and love playing Tekken. So yeah, it definitely gets people in the door.
Yeah, that's it. I don't push back on any crossovers as much as like unneeded as some of it is, and that's mostly like the Call of Duty stuff, right? Like,
speaking of Tekken, putting Negan from The Walking Dead in Tekken 7 was an inspired choice, but
that just seems, but like being mad at it, you're a dumbass.
Exactly.
The Burback brothers did a fun video where they touch on some of the crossover stuff. They did a video a month ago about the evolution of crossovers, but it was more from like the TV and pop culture sort of point of view. Mm-hmm. Definitely a video worth watching. They are amazing and funny. All right. I think that does it for the emails. Let's shift over to Grubb, who will handle our super chats.
Yes, I have the super chats right here. Let me just get them, make sure I'm updated. Okay, let's go with Prenny Dude. The hardest boss in Bonanza is the frames per second in the final boss encounter, and anyone who says it's fine is crazy, in my opinion. Really took me out of the experience. I had one moment where I thought the frame rate in the final boss fight was not just distracting, but like kind of harmed my ability to get out of the way. One moment, so it's not fine. But I'm also at a point where it's like it was happening because what was happening on the screen was so epic and so much stuff was happening that it kind of felt earned to a certain point. But you're right. Let's not.
Yeah, I would argue that's the definition of fine. Get over it. Like it passed within like 5 seconds or whatever. I'd assume. And
for the rest of the game, when the frame rate dropped, without question, it was fine, and it was almost always happening. And Sean, you mentioned at one point when we first talked about this, people didn't know the difference between frame rate drops and frame pauses for hits. Yeah. And I was playing that game, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what happened.
Oh, that was frustrating. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds very frustrating.
Like when you hit something and the animation pauses for impact.
I love that.
That one immediately got stamped out by the people actually mad about the frame rate, though. So I was glad there was a little self-correction on that one. But yeah, that's another, like, don't get too angry about that kind of stuff.
All right, from El Grug, did Grubb ever find out or learn why the zebras say bruh? They call each other bruh constantly. And I was like, oh, they're talking like the kids. How dare they? It's because zebras. And so they call each other bras. Yeah, there it is.
I knew that without the context. What do you mean?
No, I needed it. Someone in chat had to tell me when I was first complaining about it.
All right, so you figured that out. Figure out why the hell they're eating ice cream. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know. Their whole deal is like they love ice cream. They're surrounded by ice and fire. It's wild.
Ice cream's great. What do you mean?
That's all right. Ejaculo says, "Great afternoon, all." On the subject of that's just their name. What am I supposed to do? On the subject of shirts, maybe a Game S Mornings shirt. That top right square of the redesign would look nice. Yeah, I have to be very nice to Mike to get anything related to me into the merch store. So I'll start that process.
I'll yell at Mike. This was my big thing for a long time now. We need logo shirts. Yeah. Why do we not just have logo shirts?
We'll get some logo shirts.
They'll sell like crazy.
And we'll just, we'll tell him that he's in it, and then he'll make a merch of it. And that's how it works. That actually sounds awesome. And I do love that logo of the new redesign. So that'd be great.
Real good.
Martin Hollis, just wanted to say this cast is amazing. Love ya. Thank you, Martin. I've really enjoyed this episode.
Hell yeah.
Normally this is torture, a lot of work, but these guys made it easy.
It's true.
Mitchy Poo says post-nut clarity hit collective shout hard. Lol. Shaking my head.
I love that phrase.
Yeah.
I use it as often as I can.
It's also very because like they capitalized hard and then following up with a lol, shaking my head. It's a perfect phrase. It's like all of that is just so good together.
Good job. We give them a refund. Yes.
Martin Hollis is back with even more though. Jason F is the 6th GB member. I love him. We love him too. Thanks for. He's actually going to help us out all week here. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna make him emotional again. You earned it though.
I was supposed to be doing this off air, but thank you. That's very cool. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
Martin echoes how we all feel for sure. Simon from Saskatchewan said, watched Happy Gilmore again. Last time must have been 20 years ago, and I just realized his old boss with the nail in his head was Jaws from 007. Yep.
Yes.
That guy showed up in quite a few things.
He was in that. Wasn't he also in that 80s Dragnet movie with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, that sounds right. I used to watch the original Dragnet all the time. I think I only watched that movie once.
The 80s Dragnet does something to me. I don't know what it is.
I need to check it out
Tom
again.
Hanks. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
All right. And then Nick Kearney with the last super chat here. Is the Gran Turismo 7 PC port that was in the NVIDIA leak dead? Also bring back Grub Snacks. We want hot game development leaks. Peanuts. Yeah, I'm working on finding a way to make Grub Snacks happen. Probably won't be like a full... hour-long show, but maybe like a bonus content for premium members where like you ask a question and maybe I can address one question per episode or something like that and see what I can find out about it.
Almost like a monthly Q&A
but a little bit less than Q&A, more just specific, like, because this is not going to be behind the scenes. It'll be like specifically me answering questions about the games industry and stuff like that.
Okay.
Gran Turismo 7, I forgot that was on there. I don't know if it would be dead, but it seems like it's been a long time. I guess I haven't thought about the timeline of Gran Turismo 7.
Wait a minute. They released Gran Turismo 7 a little while ago. It's just called Forza Horizon 5.
Ah, there it is. Yeah. I don't know. They'll probably bring a Gran Turismo to PC eventually. So I'll say this one's probably dead and maybe another one comes to PC at some point. We'll see. All right. That does it for the super chats. I think that's going to do it for most of the show. But back to you, Bakalar.
I just learned how to read super chats. And I feel like we may have missed one or two.
Oh, okay. Let me refresh. Let me see here. Maybe more came in.
After Nick, there's 3 more.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. A bunch more came in. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. El Grug, I'm surprised the Jeffs aren't talking about hockey on Oops All Jeffs Week, or that Jason and Jerf haven't kicked Grubb out of the Eastern time zone yet. You guys aren't like Dan about that. Come on.
I don't care.
This drives me crazy. Oh, it's not Eastern time, but it's also not the Midwest. So where the fuck am I?
Yeah. A, where are you?
Yeah.
This is a fair question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
B, people who I think time zones are very frustrating and I don't think they should really exist. I think if we were all just like grown-ups, we could have universal time. I'm one of those sickos. But to be mad at it in a petulant way, that's not surprising coming from Dan. Like, of course.
Just say, consider your source here. I love the guy, but consider your source.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I honestly, I forget what time zone you're on. So just hearing that you're East Coast makes things more convenient for me.
I love that you're East Coast, Grubb. I love that.
It works.
Like, I want you in that draft. I want you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like, cool. All right. That makes me feel real good. I don't know what any of it means, but I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. It just means like I want you in my time zone.
Right. Yeah. For all that entails. Yeah.
Yeah. and all the advantages and pleasures and luxuries that come along with that.
Right. Exactly.
The thing that gets me. The thing that gets me though is the Midwest thing. That's something that I always like bicker with Grubb and Mike about. Yep. You guys are more East than Kentucky. How are you Midwest?
Because
what are you talking about?
It's just not how it works. First of all, it's a definitional region. Dude. It's by the U.S. Census Bureau came up with these names forever ago, and it was not.
The U.S. government is very good about all these things.
That's fair,
we should put all of our trust in them.
They took that name from the regional name for itself, which was just
not the name Midwest. To be clear, it's not that argument, not that old thing. No, I just mean like the fact that Ohio is Midwest. I don't know about that one, bud.
Well, I mean, it's part of the Midwest. Is it Midwest? No, but it's not a map. I always say, like, that's the thing. The name is not meant to give you directions on how to get to Ohio.
Midwest is like a general direction, right? It's not like
it's a collection. It's a collection of states that were not quite the West compared to the original 13 colonies in the East Coast. It's like, all right, so it's midway to the West as we knew it, which was Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas. Kansas got added to the Midwest later. I know Dan's like that's
a
original
new term,
but yeah,
we're trying it out. It's a generally new term.
And then what happened is we continued Manifest Destiny. We expanded to the West, added a bunch of West Coast states, and so now it all feels weird. And then a bunch of states in the middle that were once considered the West were like, well, where do we go now? And so they're like, well, I guess we're Midwest, and it kind of just made everything confusing.
Like, to be fair, when you do look at the time zone map and you see like all of Michigan in the East Coast, you're like, what in the holy fuck have they done? Right?
I think that's what it is. It's like there's some states in some people's heads where it's like, that I thought that was way further over that way. What are you talking about? That's in the same time zone as Connecticut. Yeah.
Time zones make it weird because there's like Michigan is clearly what is considered Midwest. Yeah, it's a vibes thing. You're right. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know.
I
don't like you guys, you know?
Be done with it?
Yeah, Mid-East. Well, there is a Mid-East. Okay.
Mid-East too.
Yeah. The sequel. And then Mountain and Central, no one ever cares or knows what time it is where you live. So just, I'm sorry on behalf of
Mountain Time,
East and West Coast people.
Mountain Time was a fun time to live in because of time zone, because it's like sporting events would all happen at like 4 p.m. and you would have the rest of your evening to yourself and stuff like that. It was.
I can't deal with that.
Yeah, I can't. A hockey game should go to the point where I'm so tired I fall asleep during the overtime. Yeah.
I remember being out west and seeing a game start at 4 p.m. and you're like, this is unholy.
Yeah, or like college football. Like, I have to wake up at 9 a.m. What the fuck are you talking about?
Get up early.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened to me yet, but if I am ever on the West Coast for a 1 p.m. Eagles game, my head's going to explode. 10 a.m. Eagles, I don't know if I could do that.
Now you'll be tailgating at 10 a.m. That's another story.
Yeah, but that's
for the game to start.
No. I'll be tailgating at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Right, of course. Fair enough. All right, what else we got, Grubb?
No. Did we give any more super chats? Yeah, there was one more, right? Right. Okay. From Simon from Saskatchewan. Jeff, what's the first 6 expansion NHL teams?
Okay, I think I ordered this differently. We talked about that, right? The original 6?
No, the first 6 expansion NHL teams.
I could not. I think I got.
Yeah. Was it Penguins? Is the one I got? That felt right, but
yes, Penguins, Flyers.
Oh, right. Okay.
North Stars.
Right, that would have been one of my guesses, was the Minnesota North Stars.
I will guess. I think there's one that's weird. 1 or 2, maybe. There's 6. So we did Flyers, Penguins.
Nordiques?
North Stars. No, Nordiques.
Or what?
Nordiques. Quebec Nordiques.
Yep.
The Blues.
Oh, that's
the Blues?
Yeah, that Blues. Let me double check. But that sounds right.
Part of me wants. Chat said Sabres. I think that might be right.
Man, really?
Definitely one of the Blues.
One of the 6 is not called them. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there's a weird one.
Say that.
Okay, so the weird one is California Seals.
Yeah,
that's bizarre. Yeah, okay, so there's one other team.
What did they become? What did they wind up becoming, or they were just defunct?
I'll look into it.
All right, so what's the 6th one then?
Los Angeles Kings.
The Kings. That's right.
They became the Cleveland Barons,
and then
who don't exist. That's it. They don't exist anymore.
And then they died.
They're fucking okay. Cool. The California Golden Seals. Oh, weird.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, I've heard. Yeah. Nuts. And that's 1967. Correct.
They merge with the North Stars. How does that work? How do you merge a team? All right, whatever.
I guess.
The 2 of them combined and went to Dallas.
Yeah. Okay.
To become the Stars.
Right, the Dallas Stars, which they still are today.
Yeah. Okay. So that happened weird. Okay.
Yeah, I got a great idea. Hockey in Texas. Okay, folks.
Worked out okay for them somewhat. Yeah.
Thank you so very much for tuning in. TurboShawn, thank you so much for being here. Anything to tell the people before we let you go?
Do you want me to talk about my video going up at the end of the show?
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll say now because I'm going to be at EVO all weekend, so I'm heading out tomorrow. That's why I'm not going to be here. If you're going to be at EVO, make sure to say hi. I don't bite. I'm going to be doing some work stuff, so I'll have some fun stuff to bring back.
Not sure he bit me last year.
Special case, Jason. I'm going to have some videos. I'm going to have some articles on giantbomb.com. We haven't done those in a while.
That's a thing?
That's the thing. It turns out we can write, believe it or not.
Probably should.
That's going to be fun. I'm going to have some fun stuff to bring back. But also, if you're in the mood for fighting games, hear me and Jason talk about all of them, Evo coming up. I have a video going up right after the Bombcast is done here live. So I'm just going to hit the switch on what it's like to be at Evo. All the footage that I filmed last year, I've now repurposed a little bit. It's an evergreen video that's like a first-person account of what it's like to be there, and partially like a beginner's guide to Evo. If you were looking to go for the first time, if you are going for the first time, you can sort of know what to expect. Got some interviews with some fun people in there. I interviewed Guile Winkquote, the YouTuber. I interviewed Chopper from our friends at New Game Plus. I interviewed my artist buddy, David Liu, and mentioned earlier on the podcast, Markman. All of those people talked a little bit in the video. I think it's a really fun one. Nice and concise. It's only 17 minutes. So definitely check that out when you're done with the Bombcast today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Sean.
That's awesome. There was also a best of that went up, right?
You.
Yeah, earlier today. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
That is correct. Jason Fanelli, everyone give it up. Long time coming. Well overdue appearance on the Bombcast. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. You were fantastic. Where can the people find you?
I am at jasonfanelli.com on Blue Sky. Was able to get that domain, but Big Man Fanelli everywhere else. I will be watching Evo here in the basement as of right now. Still trying to figure out a way there, but but I think
you cut out again there in the second half of your sentence.
I moved. I got to stop moving.
Don't move.
So I might actually stream a little bit, stream some Evo, stream some live reactions,
that'd be fun.
matches. Streamo, there you go. Friday is the big showcase where they do a bunch of reveals and talks and stuff like that, and then finals day is always fun because reveals match energy.
We're losing you again, Jason.
What the frig is going on here? Really? This whole time, at least the recording will be fine.
It's the New Jersey and the Philly internet they're butting heads.
That's what it is. They are butting heads.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen to the person that put that in chat, you jackass. But yeah, so I'll be watching Evo. I got a couple reviews going up soon. Bananza for MMORPG. That should be now that I finished the game. Shadow Labyrinth as well. And yeah, if you like video games, wrestling, or stupid memes or pictures of cute kids and family fun, that's what you can see on my social media because that's what I usually. And having a good time.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Jason. Grubb, what do we got left on the docket for the rest of the week?
Yes, so look out for Game Mess mornings for the rest of the week. I'll have a good crew. Jason, am I having you on again later this week? I can't remember if we decided. Tomorrow. Okay, yes, that sounds right. And then we are going to have voicemail dump truck on Thursday. We're going to do a Delight Club on Wednesday instead of the traditional Blight Club. I think I'm going to play some James Bond. Dan gave me that Everything or Nothing game. Cool. Have Bakalar sit in with that on
the game.
Yeah, we'll hang out for a little bit. And then for UPF, we'll hang out. We got some ideas. Maybe that paddle game. There's a bunch of other stuff we could do. I'm also going to maybe try to stuff some Grounded 2 in here somewhere, but we'll have to see where. But yeah, it's going to be as good of a week as we could pull off with the crew all out on assignment and more leaving us, by the minute. So yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, very good Bombcast. Glad to hang out with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Thursday on Dump Truck, we'll be joined by Vinny Caravella and Alex Navarro.
Hey. Wait, you couldn't get the hat trick?
No, Brad and I are having a fight, and we'll figure it out.
Yep.
We're gonna we
Quarrel.
just can't have him on together. It's too powerful. It's too powerful. No, we'll figure out a time to get Brad on as well. But yeah, that's for Thursday. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Stay with us and head over to giantbomb.com/join. Support the business, support the content, support us, and we'll keep continuing all of this excellent stuff. Thank you so much again to Jason and Sean for helping us out today. We will be back with a brand new episode next week. and most of the gang should be back then as well. Until then, see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.